Crimson Tide about to take the field with a record of 4-1, coming off their stirring victory 2 weeks ago at the Swamp in Gainesville, ending Florida's 30-game home winning streak. And here's Ole Miss with a record of 5-1. And welcome. I'm Sean McDonough. It's great to have you with us as our CBS Sports cameras come to this beautiful campus for the first time ever to televise a college football game. And it's a very important game, particularly in the West Division of the Southeastern Conference. Alabama tied atop the division with Mississippi State. Ole Miss right behind. Both the Rebels and Tide have a game remaining this season against Mississippi State. I'm joined as always by Todd Blackledge. Todd, Alabama with the week off after that big win 2 weeks ago against Florida. Is that a good or bad thing for the Tide?
I think it's a very good thing for Alabama. It allowed them both to put that great win behind them a little bit. They've got a lot of young players that maybe didn't know how to handle that. Plus, it allowed them to get back to fundamentals and basics during the off week. Thought it was very interesting what Mike Dubose said to us this week. Said this team has handled adversity well all year. Now I'm anxious to see how they handle success.
Well, one man who's had success throughout this season for Alabama is the terrific running back Shaun Alexander. He's rushed for 100 yards or more in 5 straight games.
I really love watching this guy play, Sean, because as all great players, the thing that he does is when his team needs plays, he makes plays. In the game against Florida, it was tough running the ball early, so they got him the football, throwing it to him. 4 catches for 94 yards and a touchdown. Then in the fourth quarter, money time, he took over running the football. The first 3 quarters, he averaged 2.9 yards per carry. In the fourth quarter and overtime, 6.5 yards and 2 touchdowns. Every time his team needed a play in that game, and for the whole season for that matter, Shaun Alexander delivers.
And something has to give today because Alexander has had 100 yards or more in every game, but Ole Miss has not given up 100 yards rushing to any team they've played this season. They're number 2 in the nation in rush defense behind only Michigan State.
But we've got to keep it into perspective because the teams that Ole Miss has beaten are 8-21 combined. And no team that they've played has brought the talent at tailback or offensive line that Alabama brings in. A big key, the health, the left ankle of Kendrick Clancy, the senior out of Tuscaloosa. He is their best defensive lineman and a key in their run defense. If he's healthy and able to go, it's a big help for the Ole Miss.
Down on the field on this beautiful day, here's Michelle Tafoya.
Well, you guys, Old Mississippi is wearing blue jerseys. Now, why is this news? Ole Miss hasn't worn blue jerseys at home since they lost in the Egg Bowl to Mississippi State back in '94. And they haven't worn them at all since 1995's loss at LSU. So the Blues were semi-retired, but David Cutcliffe told me a short time ago his team wanted to reintroduce the blue, but they wanted to do it at a big game, and they chose this one. Meanwhile, for Alabama's Mike Dubose, Todd, as you mentioned, he's got emotions on the brain as well. His biggest concern, can my team rebound from victory? And he gave his practices mixed reviews this week. He said Monday was very average, Tuesday very good, Wednesday the worst of the year, and Thursday, well, simply fine. So Dubose told me he is anxious to see his team actually play today. Back up to you.
Ole Miss won the toss and deferred, so Freddie Millens is back for Alabama. Awaiting the opening kickoff from Carlisle McGee. And this ball game's underway with an excellent kickoff, about 8 yards deep into the end zone, and no chance for Millens to run it out. Very little breeze in the stadium at the moment. That was just a good strong boot. Andrew Zhao making his 14th career start. He became the starter last year against Ole Miss. This season, 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and has passed for more than 1,000 yards. He's a sophomore from Lake Butler, Florida. Alabama trying to make it 3 wins in a row, all over ranked opponents. They've defeated Arkansas and Florida in the last 2 games. They've never won 3 games in a row under Mike Dubose. Inside handoff, Alexander puts the ball down right on the 25-yard line for a gain of 5. Lone Fisher made the tackle. The starters for Alabama, McClintock, an excellent blocking fullback for Alexander. The receivers have come on in the last 2 games, McAdley and Millens, Terry Jones Jr., the tight end. Up front, the veterans. Chris Samuels, perhaps the best tackle in the country. Red Mill, Hogan, and Cuthbert, all experienced juniors. And the true freshman Ellington has done an excellent job at the right tackle. High formation on 2nd and 5. 3 wide receivers, no tight end. Alexander turns the corner with a first down. That's a gain of 10 out to the 35-yard line, where Ken Lucas made the stop with help from Anthony Sims.
One of the things Alabama has shown they do very well is running the toss sweep into the short side of the field. And you need a good fullback to do that. Watch the block that McClintock gets right there on the outside linebacker, Eddie Strong, and that enables Alexander to get to the corner. They run that sweep into the short side very well away from the tight end because of their fullback.
Only Bobby Humphrey has reached 3,000 yards rushing at Alabama. Alexander on his way to becoming the second Tide rusher to do so in the 17th in conference history. Zow's first throw low, intended for Millens, who was open, but the pass was just a little bit short. Now the Ole Miss defense, second in the nation against the run. And the big run stopper up front is Kendrick Clancy, the native of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, grew up a Tide fan, but wasn't recruited by Alabama. Solid linebackers, all 3 of them very good run stoppers, Spearman, Johnson, and Strong. And in the secondary, Ronnie Hurd and Tim Strickland, seniors, are 4-year starters. Seneca Taylor plays both safety and cornerback. There's Clancy playing on the bad ankle. Out of the shotgun, Zow a pump fake at a screen to Alexander. It was well set up, but he dropped the ball. He had blockers and very few blue shirts out ahead of him.
It was a bad throw by Andrew Zow because of the pressure from Derek Burgess. Burgess was able to get in there quicker than Andrew Zow expected. They faked the wide receiver screen, a play they'd run a lot, and he just wasn't able to get a good throw and follow through on that little screen pass because of the good pressure from Burgess.
Tremendous noise now with 3rd down and 10 upcoming. The play took quite a long time to get in from the sideline. Play clock at 4. The snap on 2. Zow with all day to throw, and it is caught for a first down out of the 49-yard line by the true freshman Antonio Carter, who got banged down by Seneca Taylor. But the catch made by Carter, who had 8 receptions in a breakout game against Florida 2 weeks ago.
And this is the same kind of thing we saw in that Florida game. Ole Miss rushes 4. It's great protection up front by Alabama. 5 guys blocking on 4, and it enables Zow to stay in there and read that pattern as it develops. Had great protection, stayed in the pocket, and hit Carter with the throw.
Sam Collins comes in at wide receiver, number 7 at the bottom of your screen, as they line up in the I without a tight end. Their own 48, 1st and 10 Alabama. Following the fullback McClintock. Alexander with a big gain. All the way down to the 32-yard line. Tyler Williams made the stop. 19 yards on the run for the senior from Florence, Kentucky.
Again, using formation to spread out the Ole Miss defense, but it's running out of the eye behind your fullback. Watch McClintock hunt up the linebacker, Sean Johnson. There he is right there. He hunts up the middle linebacker. He gets right into the body, and that's all Alexander needs is a little crease. He's great in space, running behind his fullback, McClintock.
This has to be a confident Alabama offense after 35 points scored against Arkansas and 40 in the overtime win at Florida. After the play fake, Zow throwing for the end zone over the head of Jason McCadley with Ken Lucas in coverage. A virtual jump ball situation. And Mike DuBose wanted a little bit more of a line drive throw, it appeared, from Zow.
A little tough to make that throw on the run, throw into the deep part of the end zone. Normally when you run that bootleg, you want to get the ball early to a fullback or a tight end crossing. Good coverage that time by Ole Miss. Andrew Zow really didn't have anywhere to go with the football.
2nd and 10 at the Ole Miss 32-yard line. Ole Miss has done an excellent job against the run this season, but by far this is the most talented foe the Rebels have faced. They did a good job stacking up that play. Al Rice, reserve linebacker, took down Alexander for little or no gain. Time now for our Sun America virtual playbook.
Well, the play we just saw was Sean Alexander's favorite play, the counter trap. That's what he scored in overtime on. And there's a couple keys. You got to cave in the front side with Chris Samuel, protect the backside, no penetration, and then you have a kick-out block by the guard and a lead-through by the fullback. And Alexander has made a living on that play, that time well defended by Ole Miss.
They spread the field. They stack 3 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. Inside pass to Freddie Millens. Knocked down short of a first down at the 27-yard line. Would appear to be in field goal range. Tim Strickland and Al Rice made the tackle, and the field goal unit comes on.
Triple stack formation. We've seen it about 3 times in this series. Again, the quick screen is something because of the talent that Millens and Antonio Carter have after they catch the football. That's a play Alabama has done good things with this season. That time, good team speed by Ole Miss stops him short.
Ryan Flugner is the field goal kicker. Back in action after missing a couple of weeks with a quad muscle pull. That one is right down the middle. Ryan Flugner drills it from 45 yards, and David Cutcliffe's squad is quickly behind 3-0. 11:16 remaining in the first quarter in Oxford, Mississippi.
Hello, welcome to Home Depot. I am the Professor Roland. Home Depot University is a whole series of classes. It's different from our clinics. We'll have painting, electrical, plumbing.
Everything I tell you here is on the level.
Confidence really comes from hands-on.
And I'm loving it.
They get a full-blown diploma and they get a badge.
Congratulations. Let's hear it for the Home Depot University.
See you next week.
Why is it that superheroes never have kids? Does changing diapers get in the way of fighting crime? Or could there be a simpler explanation? Maybe superheroes just have a hard time finding a family sedan that the bad guys won't laugh at. The Mitsubishi Galant, ranked the #1 family sedan under 20 grand by Car and Driver. Battle Evil. Bring the kids.
Need brakes? Now during the Midas $40 lifetime brakes rebate, save $20 per axle or $40 for your whole car. Lifetime guaranteed $40 in savings right now. Go safely. Go Midas.
Who can solve this? Mr. Montez.
Last Saturday in the Army Reserve, I linked up 40 tanks, 60 Humvees, and 7,000 troops. On Monday, class was no sweat.
Not bad, Mr. Montez.
As little as 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Army Reserve.
The good thing about hurricanes is you can usually see them coming, so we can get there ahead of time. Tornadoes, earthquakes, you don't know about until they've happened. The idea is the more of us at the scene, the quicker we can take care of our customers. When I first took this assignment, I thought I'd do it for a year. That was, 10 years ago. You're in good hands with Allstate. Mine.
Marino and Miami are fired up for Bledsoe and the Patriots. We'll catch the Raiders battle Flutie and the Big Bad Bill. Coast-to-coast collisions on CBS.
A 10-play opening drive resulted in a field goal for Alabama. Maurice Flournoy back deep to receive the kickoff from Lane Bearden. High kickoff coming down to Deuce McAllister at the 2-yard line. Big hole across the 40 and knocked down by the kicker at the 47-yard line. Bearden had help from Sean Toure. That's a 46-yard kickoff return for Deuce McAllister.
Deuce McAllister has great speed. David Cutcliffe said he's as fast as anybody I've been around. That's saying a lot, knowing the players he had at Tennessee. Missed tackle, bad angle by Reggie Miles, number 23 on the kickoff coverage. He was unblocked and in position, took a bad angle to McAllister, underestimated his speed.
Romero Miller, the quarterback, junior from Shannon, Mississippi. And some trickery, the handoff to the wide receiver, Corey Peterson. All the way down to the Alabama 37-yard line, where Salim Rashid took him out of bounds.
The key to running a reverse is making this guy bite on the play action. Can you fool him? Watch him chase the play inside. He has no idea where the football is. That allows Peterson to get to the outside. Normally that play doesn't work until you've run the running play a couple times, but that time Kendall Moorhead just really focused on the running play.
Romaro Miller, dual threat with his running and throwing ability. Hands it off to Joe Gunn, the sophomore from Amory, Mississippi, tackled by Miguel Merritt and Salim Rashid. Run by Peterson, picked up 16. That play yielded 3 more. The rest of the starters on offense. Gunn will alternate at the running back spot with McAllister. Sanford in for the injured Charles Stackhouse at fullback. Peterson, the big play wide receiver. Up front, Todd Wade is a mammoth right tackle and team captain. He stands 6 feet 8 inches tall, weighs 330 pounds, and ran the 40 in 4.9. Miller throwing to the near sideline, looking for Maurice Flournoy. Kelf Bailey had the coverage. He's in this week as a starting quarterback in a revamped Bama secondary. They've had problems back there, and the coaches made some changes during the off week. Up front, the strength of the entire defense, the tackles, Kenny Smith and Cornelius Griffin. Kenny King, a true freshman on the outside. Young at linebacker as well with the true freshman Rashid, the redshirt freshman in the middle, Constant. And in the secondary, Reggie Miles has moved from corner to safety. Bailey steps in at corner, and Marcus Spencer is out of the starting lineup. They're looking for more big plays from the secondary. They want to see more defenders hang on to interceptions. Miller sacked. The ball might have come out. Bama saying it has the ball, and Alabama has recovered.
Romaro Miller is dropped to the backfield, fumbles. Alabama recovers the football.
Moorhead knocked it out, and Gilbert recovered.
One of the things Romaro Miller didn't do here is he's got to know with this blitz coming, he knows he's going to get hit. You can only hold the ball a certain amount of time. Moorhead did a great job getting a speed rush around Todd Wade and getting a hand on the football. But Romaro Miller knows if I can't protect everybody in there, I've got to get rid of the football. That was a good upfield rush by Kendall Moorhead to knock the ball out.
Ole Miss has been good with the football this year. +3 in turnover margin coming into this game. Alabama's had the problem with turnovers, -6 for the first turnover committed by Ole Miss. Now Alexander couldn't get outside. Tim Strickland wouldn't let him do it.
Sean Alexander on the left.
There are the numbers. Ole Miss in the top third in the nation in plus-minus ratio, while Alabama 10 from the bottom at -6 entering today's action. So you can change each number by 1. Ole Miss now +2 and Alabama -5.
And really, Ole Miss committed 5 turnovers in their opening game against Memphis, the 3-0 win, and only 5 in the 5 games after that. So they have done a great job of protecting the football.
Out of the gun, Zhao avoids the rush, throws low again, but caught this time by Jason McAdley. At least we believe so. Now an official from center field comes running in and says no. Several officials close to it all looked at each other, and finally the play was whistled incomplete.
Zhao had to step up in the pocket some here as we take a look at McAdley. Did he get underneath the football? It was low. It's hard to see from there. You see Andrew Zhao not able to really step into that throw. Tough to see from that angle.
Out of the gun on 3rd down. Zhao throws incomplete. He was hit by Lanier Gothi, the true freshman middle linebacker who came on a linebacker blitz. They were trying to set up a screen for Sean Alexander, but Gothi thwarted that plan.
They tried to run this earlier to the other side where they faked the wide receiver screen and then try to come back and get the ball to Alexander. But the quick pressure by Gothi, again, Zhao can't get into the throw. It's kind of a long developing play because you're faking the screen one way and coming back the other way, and the pressure got to Zhao again.
Patrick Morgan, averaging 41 yards per punt, senior from Birmingham. Punts it away to Corey Peterson. Fair catch called for and made by Peterson at the 17-yard line. A 38-yard punt without a return. Ole Miss has the ball down by 3 right after this.
Kim, 13 years. Billy, 10 years. Mildred, 8 years. In 1962, a store was born that for 37 years has shown us some things are always great products, great prices, and great people. To celebrate our anniversary, we're honoring some of the folks who make it all happen. Come help us celebrate. And if you see Marie, say hi. She's been in the family a long time.
I will pursue greater growth opportunities to reach my goals.
Historically, being aggressive has made sense. Despite 9 recessions since World War II, the market's up 71-fold. Because earnings are up 58-fold. Earnings drive the market.
The Fidelity Aggressive Growth Fund seeks companies with accelerated earnings or revenue growth potential. See what Fidelity Money Management Excellence can do for you. Get the fact kit today. Call 1-800-FIDELITY or visit fidelity.com.
Select road. Validating tires.
With BF Goodrich tires, it's any road you choose. BF Goodrich tires, take control.
I'm walking around mud, rocks, rain. My feet are comfortable, and that's the most important thing.
With Wolverine DuraShocks, comfort is a guarantee.
When Doug's TV turns up missing, will his marriage survive the loss?
There are other things to do in life other than watching TV.
Like what? An all-new King of Queens, CBS Monday.
Wake up to the all-new Early Show with Brian Gumbel and Jane Clayson, coming November 1st.
Alabama with a 3-0 lead. Ole Miss begins its second possession at its own 17-yard line. But Joe Gunn, the tailback. And he gets the handoff and slips down for a loss. There was penetration, but he slipped down before Cornelius Griffin covered him at the 14. Tomorrow, the NFL on CBS is packed with regional excitement. Many of you will see Dan Marino and the Dolphins against Drew Bledsoe and the New England Patriots. In some areas, Charles Woodson and the Raiders rock with Doug Flutie and the Buffalo Bills, or the Seahawks battle the Chargers. Check local listings beginning with Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry on the NFL Today, noon Eastern Time, presented by Southwest Airlines. Three wide receivers on second and long. Miller's pass caught by Corey Peterson. First down, out of bounds at the 32-yard line. A gain of 18. Tony Dixon chased him out.
Sean, I really like Romaro Miller. He has a great arm. I mean, he is a guy who can flat out throw the football as well as anybody that we see on a weekly basis. And Corey Peterson is a gamer. He's a guy, every game he makes plays. He's faster than people think he is, and he just keeps making plays. Every game he makes plays. A nice completion there from Romaro Miller.
Peterson is a senior from Germantown, Tennessee, the Memphis area, a little more than an hour from here. Rare carry for the fullback towards Sanford, his 9th carry of the year. Kendall Moorhead tackled him. Sanford is a redshirt freshman from Batesville, Mississippi, also close to Oxford. And he was the backup to Charles Stackhouse at the beginning of the year. They lost Stackhouse to a knee injury in the Auburn game. They hope that he comes back late in the season. They say Stackhouse is just an amazing fullback. David Cutcliffe compared him to Sean Bryson. Said he's every bit as talented as Bryson, who was drafted by the Buffalo Bills in the 3rd round this year. Gunn running wide. Gets driven back shy of the 40-yard line. Took a pop from Reggie Miles.
You're talking about Stackhouse, and really the key, I mean, the way they want to play football at Ole Miss, the way David Cutcliffe played it at Tennessee, the way he wants to play it here is I formation, power football, and you need a tough fullback who can block, who can also catch the ball coming out of the backfield. And they really felt they have a special guy with Charles Stackhouse. They hope to get him back for LSU. And Sanford and the other guy, Tremaine Turner, both really converted tailbacks, so a little bit playing out of position.
Deuce McAllister in at tailback now on 3rd down and 2. Ole Miss from its own 40. Lots of time for Noah. The pass batted down. Incomplete. Knocked down by Cornelius Griffin, the senior from Brundage, Alabama.
I think this is a good idea by the Alabama defensive tackles. Romaro Miller is only 6'1". That's what he's listed in the program. May not even be that tall. And on those 3-step drops, if you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up. Take a look down the field. Always got to keep your head on a swivel as a wide receiver. Flournoy took one.
Reagan King, the punter, with an excellent punt. High nose-up spiral. Flag down, back behind the line of scrimmage. Freddie Millens made a fair catch, a 45-yard punt with no return. Breeze has kicked up just a little bit. 9 miles per hour now. It is at the back of the Rebels. 78 degrees, the game time temperature. And the officials talking it over. The flag thrown behind the line of scrimmage. That was such a good punt. Mike Dubose will have them do it again.
Take a look at this. Right here you got Bobby Killian, the snapper, from behind. Normally when a guy goes down with somebody behind him, that's going to get called. It's also the quickest way to get a punt blocked is right up the middle. Killian just trying to make the protection there, but got caught with the hold.
Salim Rashid, who had the excellent penetration up the middle. King will try again. He's a junior from Ackerman, Mississippi. His father was a place kicker at Ole Miss back in the late 60s. Played for the legendary coach John Vaught. Did Perry King. He booms another one. Nose up spiral, driving Millens back, pedaling to the 16. What a catch he made there. Looked like a disaster for Alabama, but while falling down and backpedaling, Millens made the catch. A 53-yard punt by Reagan King, matching his longest of the season.
54-yard punt by Reagan King.
The oxygen mask will be released, and in case of a sudden craving for the new Chicken Club from Burger King, an emergency pouch in the seat back in front of you contains one sandwich.
Hey, that's my sandwich.
Give me that sandwich, lady! Just give me the sandwich!
Everybody's craving the new Chicken Club. After all, it's a masterpiece of all-white meat chicken, crispy bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Burger King. Have it your way.
Let's be honest. There's really no such thing as a gracious winner. You might say things like nice game or shake your opponent's hand. But no matter how humble you are on the outside, deep down on the inside, you're saying, I'm better than you are. The Mitsubishi Galant, ranked the #1 family sedan under 20 grand by Car and Driver. Better than Accord or Camry. Boy, we just love saying that.
Look at that. So beautiful. Bellissimo. Be gentle. Hold it like this. Do not rush. Enjoy every moment. Ah, the onion. Such a beautiful thing.
Philips High Definition TV. As real as it gets.
They were the first generation to rock America. CBS presents a musical mini-series event. Shake, Rattle, and Roll. CBS November 7th.
Alabama leads 3-0 on a Ryan Flugner 45-yard field goal. Jason McCadley runs on late as Alabama's over the ball. 1st and 10 from its own 17. Sean Alexander running left. And running all the way out to the 37-yard line. Ronnie Hurd cut him down. That's a gain of 20.
Running behind his big left tackle, Chris Samuels, who caves in that left side, and then the fullback leads through. Watch as Alexander gets to the edge. The whole left side caved in by Samuel, and then McClintock got the block on the linebacker. Again, running into the short side of the field, and you see the vision and the patience by Sean Alexander, waiting for that play to develop.
He's shown just about every positive attribute you would hope to see from a running back. The games we've seen him play this season, Sean Bohannon takes over at tailback. He follows Dustin McClintock across the 40 out to the 42-yard line, where Eddie Strong made the tackle.
One of the things I've been really impressed with the last couple weeks of Alabama, and Charlie Stubbs calling plays, changing the formations and personnel groups. They opened the game with 4 wide receivers in the stack. Then they went to 3 wide receivers with 2 backs. Then they went back to 4 wide receivers, but they had them spread evenly. Again, 5 wide receivers, actually Sean Alexander right there. Then a 2 tight end with 1 wide receiver. They give you a lot of formations, a lot of personnel groups. That was all in the first series. Really kind of puts that defense on their heels.
5.5 left in the first. They throw a quick pass to Shamari Buchanan, and he's taken down for a loss. Good reaction by Armiga Spearman, the strong side linebacker. Stop the play back at the 38-yard line.
Wholesale substitutions now by Ole Miss. They're trying to play a lot of people on defense. They have 5 defensive tackles, 5 defensive ends, trying to rotate them all in there. The backup started this series. Now the starters back in for this 3rd down play.
The 3rd down and 8. Bama at its own 37. Then they spread the field with 5 wide receivers out of the gun. 4-man rush, well picked up. Antonio Carter spins and is very close to a first down at the 46-yard line. Check that. It was Tim Bowens on the reception, cutting across the middle. Number 8, the senior. This might require a measurement at the 46. They will bring on the chains.
Again, we see the 5 wide receiver set. Watch these 3 here as they go upfield. Carter comes underneath, and Andrew Zhao just has to pick up the open man right in that slot between the corner and the linebacker. Gets him the football quickly.
And it is a first down for the Crimson Tide. This is a special day for the coaches. Mike DuBose and David Cutcliffe, longtime friends, both graduates of the University of Alabama. DuBose graduating in 1974, Cutcliffe in 76. An injury early in his career in Tuscaloosa sidelined Cutcliffe's playing career, but he did stay close to the program, helping out in a number of capacities, embarking on a coaching career as a high school coach while he was still in college. The reverse to Antonio Carter. He can fly if he has space. He made his way into Ole Miss territory at the 47-yard line. Short of a first down, but a pickup of 7. Ronnie Hurd and Tim Strickland made the tackle. DuBose and Cutcliffe have maintained their friendship over the years. As a matter of fact, when Mike DuBose became the head coach 3 years ago, he tried to lure David Cutcliffe back to Alabama as the offensive coordinator. But by then, Cutcliffe had been at Tennessee for 15 years. Ensconced there, very happy in his working relationship with with Phil Fulmer and all of the people there, and elected to stay. But it was a very tough decision for Cutcliffe. Now the head coach at Ole Miss, Alexander, on 2nd and short, has the first down to the 41-yard line. Mike DuBose was a fine player at Alabama. Linebacker, given the special number 54, worn by the great Leroy Jordan, whom DuBose idolized while growing up in Opp, Alabama.
You know, David Cutcliffe told us a funny story about that when he was considering going to Alabama, and he had shared it with his family, and after a couple days his little daughter Katie had heard it in school, and she asked her mom, is he really thinking about going to Alabama? And mom said yes, and she said, well, we're going to miss him if he goes. She liked it in Tennessee.
Katie was 6 years old at the time. Zal throwing deep for Millens. He's open, has it out of bounds at the 1-yard line. He beat Ken Lucas on the coverage for a gain of 40, and they're going to spot him out near the 2.
Andrew Zhao is picking up right where he left off in the Florida game 2 weeks ago. No letdown for him. Good protection. You see him step up in the pocket. Still no blue jerseys around him. And then the perfect throw over the outside shoulder to Millens. When you're throwing that ball down the field on the takeoff, you throw it over the outside shoulder to keep it away from the defender. Perfect throw by Andrew Zhao down the sideline.
And Millens looking for a 3rd straight game of 100 yards or more receiving. No player in Alabama history has done that. Millens the first step 2 in a row since Ozzie Newsome in 77. Alexander stopped at the 1-yard line. Tackle made by Anthony Sims, number 32, the sophomore from Memphis, who will probably split the snaps 50-50 with Clancy at the tackle spot today because Clancy's hampered by the ankle problem. There's Freddie Millens, a sophomore from Starkville, Mississippi. The numbers he's posted. We talked with Neil Callaway, the offensive coordinator, yesterday. He said the big change in their team, particularly the offense, has been the development of the wide receivers in the last 2 ball games.
Millens has come on, and Antonio Carter as well.
Alexander, a huge hole, untouched behind the fullback, McClintock. Touchdown, Alabama. And 65 yards rushing already for the Heisman hopeful Sean Alexander.
Sean, you said that Chris Samuels, the left tackle, may be the best tackle in the country. He and the tight end Terry Jones just destroyed the left side there, and Sean Alexander could have crawled through there for a touchdown.
Have you ever seen an easier score on a play like that at the goal line? Where there was that big a hole, the runner going in the interior was that untouched. Ryan Pfluger made the extra point. The Red Sea parted. In this case, the Blue Sea parted, and Alexander took it in. 41 career touchdowns now for Sean.
As you might expect, Teller and I don't see eye to eye on investing. I like to avoid risk. Teller's a little more daring. We do, however, share the same new way to trade online.
Introducing Power Street by Fidelity, the first site with trading tools customized by Lycos to fit your life, your goals, your unique way of doing things.
Look, the market's up. Or, in your case, down.
Power Street Online Trading. Call or visit Fidelity.com to open an account.
And now, the Fidelity Mentors of the Game.
My mentor is my grandparents. You know, they done been there with me, you know, through the thick and thin. You know, my grandparents, they done did so much for me. They done installed, you know, good values in me. I think right now my grandma, she's my biggest fan. You know, I sort of worry about her watching the games, you know, when we're playing close game, because I really don't know if she gonna make it through. You know, if I throw an interception or something like that, you know, they tell me stories about she be at home crying. So right now I think she's you know, my biggest hero.
Sean Alexander's now scored more touchdowns than any player in Alabama history with 41. One more than Bobby Humphrey. They began the day tied. That's the 33rd career rushing touchdown for Alexander. He needs one more to tie the great Johnny Musso, the all-time Alabama lead in that category. The kickoff bouncing free at the 17-yard line, picked up by Deuce McAllister. And he's down at the 24.
Take one more look at that touchdown by Sean Alexander. Watch these 2 blocks right here. Chris Samuels blocking here, and the fullback McClintock on the linebacker Spearman. How was it so easy? 2 great blocks in there. And Alexander coasts into the end zone. Outstanding block and running behind that left side behind the fullback.
Here's Michelle.
Well, and David Cutcliffe is known as a very even-keeled coach, something that defensive coordinator Art Kaufman really likes about working with him. And after Alabama scored that touchdown, neither Cutcliffe nor Kaufman flinched. No reaction, none, guys.
That's not surprising, as you point out, Michelle. That's the standard temperament of those 2 gentlemen. Corey Peterson, the intended target of that Miller pass, but it was incomplete. Art Kaufman, the defensive coordinator, the only coach from the former staff here at Ole Miss under Tommy Tuberville, who did not go with Tuberville to Auburn. He wasn't invited to go, but David Cutcliffe was delighted that he was not, because he wanted to keep Art Kaufman, really respected him from coaching against Kaufman while David was at Tennessee. Yesterday, Cutcliffe said that's the best decision I could have made, to keep Art Kaufman. 2nd down and 10. Approaching 2 minutes left in the opening quarter. The pass caught, but for a very short gain. Miguel Merritt made the tackle on L.J. Taylor.
L.J. Taylor. On the stop for Alabama.
I think Alabama is a little quicker defensively than they've been for a couple weeks. The off week was very important, I think, for Ellis Johnson's defense. Even in that Florida game, they had some guys slowed down, a couple guys with hamstrings, a couple guys with groin injuries. That off week has really helped them get healed up. They look quicker to me on the field right now than they did 2 weeks ago.
3rd down for Ole Miss. 3rd and 7. Rebels from their own 27. Miller on the roll.
On a deep one.
Has the man wide open, but it's incomplete. Must have been deflected on the way, because Maurice Flournoy flinched as the ball went by him. And the Ole Miss offense has done very little here in the opening quarter.
Romero Miller missed Flournoy, but he also missed this man running straight down the field. Ended up being open. Could have been a touchdown. Flournoy was going to the outside, but nobody picked up L.J. Taylor running down until late. And Romero Miller wasn't able to make the completion. They had two guys open. Should have got the completion there.
Reagan King on to punt again. He's been the star of the first quarter for Ole Miss. Another high punt. I wonder where the coverage is with as high as that punt was. Millens goes out of bounds at the 38-yard line. A 44-yard punt. Sheldon Morris ran Millens out. Reagan King, the Ole Miss punter, is our Rigid Tools Scholar Athlete of the Game. Rigid Tools' commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to the University of Mississippi's General Scholarship Fund. He's an excellent student, as you saw, with that 3.44 grade point average.
One of the questions I had in this ball game was, could Ole Miss stand up physically against Alabama on both sides of the ball? Alabama's very strong offense and defensive line. Right now, they're controlling the line of scrimmage on both sides.
John Alexander, driven back for no gain by Shane Elam. Well, we mentioned at the top of the telecast, something has to give. Alexander, 5 straight 100-yard rushing games, trying to match the school record of Ricky Moore with a 6th today. Ole Miss hasn't given up 100 yards rushing to any team, but the schedule played by Ole Miss a little soft, and they've played a number of teams that prefer to pass the ball rather than run.
Yeah, last week they played Tulane. Tulane, they held them to 16 yards rushing, but Tulane is in the shotgun. They're throwing it almost every down. This is the most complete offensive team they've faced by far this season.
Vanderbilt, not known as a passing team, threw for more than 300 yards against this Rebel defense. Terry Jones Jr. took the shovel pass. He's the son of the former Green Bay Packer, who's now the strength and conditioning coach with the Alabama football program. Near Gothi, the true freshman, made the tackle. That will be the final play of the first quarter. At the end of the first quarter, the score is Alabama 10 and Ole Miss nothing. We'll return to Vaught Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, Mississippi, right after this message and a word from your local station.
This is your new business. And this is your new car. The new Volvo V40. Now get back to work. Every bit of Volvo for about $24,000.
There's this place in the neighborhood where they have these outrageous you pick 2 platters, and basically you pick 2 out of 3 entrees. It's 2 on 1 plate. You get the Cajun steak with all those sizzling spices, or a pile of succulent roasted garlic shrimp, or barbecue chicken with that sauce that sticks to your lips and your mind like some really interesting dream. It was too good to end, but it will, just like the you pick 2 platters. 2 entrees, 1 plate, only at Applebee's.
For action as big as Texas, the address is CBS.
Police! Take it down! Oh, that's a reliable door. So? I've busted through doors all my life. It's the nicest I've seen. Look, magnetic weather stripping. Seals like a refrigerator. That's a forever white frame. It won't yellow. And a 25-year guarantee. Other doors only give you 10. Pretty, too. Sir? Go, go, go!
Reliable entry doors. Available at Lowe's and online.
Closeout savings in October? You better believe it. Marshall Mize Ford offers one final chance to get those huge savings as we clear out the last of the 99 Ford. Hurry in today and get a new Ranger XL Sport with air, now only $10,895. Explorer XLT 4x4 fully loaded, $24,995. F-150 Super Cab XLT Lariats, 2-wheel and 4-wheel drive, $4,000 off MSRP, plus 3.9 financing. Never before have closeout prices been around this late in the year. Marshall Mize Ford. Nobody sells for less, regardless.
Product warranties can be tricky, but no tricks at Amana. Warranties for the heat exchangers in these say lifetime. Lifetime means as long as you live there. You see, heat exchangers are the heart of your furnace, and Amana uses all stainless steel for the ones in these, and they'll last way longer than the ones made of aluminized steel. That's why the warranty says lifetime. Amana's built better than it has to be. So's the warranty. Make a call. One hot deal. No down payment, no payments, no interest until May.
Feel the warmth of natural gas heat and save on your utility bills. Call Williams Heating and Air today.
Get instant weather warnings on your email with News 12 Weather Warn.
Sean McDonough with Todd Blackledge and Michelle Tafoya back in Oxford, Mississippi. Alabama leads Ole Miss 10-0 as we head to the second quarter. Alabama with 3rd down and 6 from its own 42. Zhao eluded the rush. In trouble now and buried back at the 35-yard line by Kamon Fisher. And Todd, Mississippi could use a big play.
Yeah, they certainly could from their defense, because Alabama kind of controlling things on the line of scrimmage and proving again they're very difficult to defend. They changed formations, they changed personnel groups. Andrew Zhao throwing it, Sean Alexander running it. Mississippi needs a couple big plays from their defense.
So the punting unit comes on now for Alabama. Patrick Morgan on the academic All-SEC team. A couple of very bright punters in this game today. Kicking it away to Corey Peterson, who's standing at his own 22 and looking into a bright sun. The light breeze at the back of Morgan now, and he booms one with the wind. Peterson to catch, and he is smothered immediately. Excellent coverage by the freshman Herschel Holden out of Dothan, Alabama. 47 yards on the Morgan punt. And no return. No one covers college football like CBS Sportsline. Each week you get in-depth previews and results from every game. Plus see how our experts rank all 114 Division 1A teams. It's all at cbs.sportsline.com or in America Online under keyword CBS Sportsline.
Sean, I think it's a very important series for Ole Miss offensively. They got the big play on 3rd down from their defense. They've got to get their defense to get some rest on the sideline. They got to move the football, make a few first downs, hopefully get some points.
Miller hands off to Deuce McAllister. Dulimus's given name, and he was also number 2 in high school in Morton, Mississippi, hence the nickname Deuce. He was their leading rusher last year, rushed for more than 1,000 yards, 1,082 yards. Was the second man in Ole Miss history to rush for more than 1,000 in a season. He would have been their primary ball carrier this year, but he bruised his shoulder early on. That opened up playing time for Joe Gunn, who was a capable number 2 man to McAllister last year. And now they split time just about 50-50. McAllister didn't have much running to the right. They'll bring up 3rd down. Salim Rashid made the stop on McAllister.
Salim Rashid, one of those young linebackers. Here he is, number 11, freshman, getting better and better each game he plays. The more he sees, the quicker he reacts. He's got great speed and acceleration. He was bothered by a hamstring a couple weeks ago against Florida. He looks a lot better today physically.
Rashid out of Shades Valley High School in Birmingham, where he led his high school team in tackles 4 years in a row. Timeout, Ole Miss with 12:49 left in the first half.
I knew I was in for the fight of my life, but I was ready.
When my husband and his friends start exchanging fish stories, it's the phone bill that can turn into a whopper.
I fought this monster for hours. First I had the upper hand, then he took control.
That's why we always dial 10-10-321. With 10-10-321, calls over 10 minutes are just 8 cents a minute, day or night. And at 8 cents a minute, he can tell all the stories he wants.
I'll tell you, it was like a whale.
Yeah?
You should have seen it.
Well, let me tell you about my trip.
Dial 10-10-321 and talk as long as you want, whenever you want.
The 300 Secret. At Chrysler, the latest 300 is unveiled.
The 300 philosophy has always been one of styling leadership, presenting the newest 300.
Chrysler 300M, the 253 horsepower descendant of the legendary Letter series.
Sliding into the spacious cabin makes you feel connected to a true automotive thoroughbred.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue, so don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
Need brakes? Now during the Midas $40 lifetime brakes rebate, save $20 per axle or $40 for your whole car. Lifetime guaranteed $40 in savings right now. Go safely. Go Midas.
We got to know more. CBS Sports Line.
In '94, he had 7 sacks.
Where are you getting all this information?
It's all right here, an alumni tracker.
CBS Sports Line. When you've got to know more.
After the Ole Miss timeout, the Rebels facing 3rd down and a long 4. On their own 23-yard line. 0 for 3 on 3rd down, Ole Miss. Alabama faked the blitz. Moore had a good pressure, but he ran by Romero Miller. Now he has running room. And he's tackled out of bounds. The Ole Miss sideline in an uproar about that without a flag. Darius Gilbert chased him out of bounds and took him down. And David Cutcliffe can't believe the lack of a flag. And Ellis Johnson, the defensive coordinator for Alabama, Todd, very concerned about the running ability of Miller. He said of all the quarterbacks we have faced so far, he poses the biggest running threat.
Yeah, he definitely has the ability to run. Now, he looks to throw first most of the time, but at this point, after the pocket collapses, watch, it wasn't a hard hit at the end, but it was clearly out of bounds. And if you're not going to get that call right in front of your head coach on your bench, you're not going to get it anywhere, believe me.
First down out to the 32. Deuce McAllister has a nice hole on the right side. Spun out of bounds, close to another first down. It looks like he has it out near the 44-yard line. Credit Reggie Miles with the tackle.
We've been talking about Dustin McClintock blocking for Sean Alexander. A nice block by Tord Sanford, the fullback. Watch him here, the redshirt freshman leading McAllister. Gets a nice block on the linebacker, and that allows McAllister into the secondary. Again, he's a little bit undersized for a fullback at 217 pounds. Playing out of position. Did a nice job. Good technique on the block there.
McAllister had the best game of his career last year at Alabama when he rushed for 188 yards. The highest single game total in Ole Miss history, and he's piling up yards in this game as well across midfield to the 49 of Alabama, just shy of a first down.
Good drive right here for Ole Miss. They really needed it. They needed to move the football. They needed to rest their defense. And also what they're doing right now is they're setting up what I think Romero Miller does better than anything, play action. Bootleg or throwing the deep post off the play action. You run the football with some success, it sets up your play action. Wouldn't be surprised to see him trying to do that here very soon.
Ellis Johnson, the defensive coordinator, as Marcus Spencer in at safety for Tony Dixon. Dixon slow to get up after the last play. They try to pull him with the fullback, and Sanford does have the first down to the 45, where he was hit by Marvin Constant. Sanford, a tailback in high school at South Panola, not far from the Oxford campus. That's a great high school program. They have 5 South Panola players on this Ole Miss roster. Product of South Panola, very familiar to Alabama fans. Wayne Rudd, the linebacker, has gone on to the NFL. He's been an idol to Eddie Strong, the Ole Miss linebacker, another South Panola product. Romero Miller in the flat for Deuce McAllister. And he's down at the 41-yard line. Good tackle in space by Milo Lewis, who's been the most productive member of the Alabama secondary this season. The coaches say Miles might be the most talented guy back there, but it's Lewis consistently being the most productive.
Well, they only have 2 interceptions on the whole season, and he has both of them. And he's also forced 2 fumbles. So he's been a playmaker for the Alabama defense. And really, when they made all the shakeups on the secondary, he was the one guy that they kept right where he was.
Best drive of the game by far for Ole Miss. Trailing 10-0 in the second quarter. Miller throws. Peterson with some running room. Knocked out of bounds by Milo Lewis. Corey Peterson at the 35-yard line. Again, very close to a first down.
Really a nice job. The 2 receivers working together here. Jamie Armstrong and Corey Peterson. Watch after Peterson makes the catch. Armstrong gets the block. He knows the ball's not coming to him. Watch, he turns right away and gets the block on Bailey. And that enables Peterson to get a few more yards up the sideline. You know you're not getting the ball, help the other guy.
3rd down in inches. And it's Joe Gunn with the second effort, following the fullback Sanford. And a first down for Gunn. He's only 5'9", 200 pounds, but he's very powerful. Bench presses nearly 440 pounds.
And he has great balance. When I was watching him on film, that was the one thing that jumped out at me about him, is he runs very low to the ground, and he has very good balance. He bounces off a lot of tackles, gains a lot of yards after initial contact because of his balance.
David Cutcliffe said when he first came here, he used to call Joe Gunn Pop Gun. Joe didn't really like that. With his success this year, now the coach calls him Machine Gun.
Yeah, deservedly so.
Well, Joe likes that a lot better. He stays in at tailback. First and 10 Ole Miss, the Alabama 32. Miller has a couple of receivers wide open, and the pass dropped. He was looking for the tight end, Justin Sawyer. He also had Torrance Sanford wide open in the flat. Reggie Miles nearest Sawyer.
Boy, he had Justin Sawyer, and Sawyer fell down. Now watch the tight end, Justin Sawyer, as he goes out into the pattern. He's going to slip and fall down, but he's wide open. Romero Miller has him, and right as he tries to make the cut, he's going to fall down. He's on the ground, he gets up, and he's going to fall again trying to catch the ball. They had what they wanted with the tight end, couldn't make the connection. That was set up by the running play.
Sawyer's a true freshman. That would have been his first career catch. He hails from Centerville, Mississippi. Gunn across the 30, down in the arms of Marvin Constant at the 29-yard line. They'll bring up third down and about 7, with under 10 minutes remaining now in the first half. Alabama has dominated this rivalry with 37 wins, just 7 losses to Ole Miss. There have been 2 ties. Last year, an overtime win for the Tide in Tuscaloosa. Bama's won 8 in a row on the field, 13 of the last 15. One of those 8 reversed because of NCAA sanctions, but both teams consider that a win for Alabama. Deuce McAllister throws it into the flat. McAllister on the receiving end of that pass from Miller. And he has a first down out of bounds at the 16-yard line, knocked out by Tony Dixon and Kel Bailey.
Kind of an interesting call here by David Cutcliffe. He went with regular personnel on the third down play. He didn't go with the spread formation or the shotgun, and nobody picked up McAllister out of the backfield. Peterson was covered going down the field. Unusual that nobody for Alabama would pick up McAllister, the only other viable option on that play.
One of the best all-purpose backs in the conference, and McAllister demonstrating his multiple skills today. They'll try running straight ahead. Strong run and a late flag down. He went down at the 10, the flag thrown right where he was tackled.
They got a face mask on Alabama at the end of that play. Whenever you see those defensive players just kind of going back and looking away from the official and not pointing the other way, it's probably on them.
Impressive drive for Coach Cutcliffe.
Yep.
Began at the 17-yard line. They've marched all the way inside the Alabama 10 with this penalty.
5 yards on the defense. It'll be a first down.
I think Marvin Constant right here, number 45, the middle linebacker, is going to get a hold of the face mask right at the end of this play. He's trying to ward off the block of Terrence Metcalf. Gets his hand up there on the face.
Looked like Cornelius Griffin could have gone for 2. They each had a hold of the face mask. Yep. 2 for the price of 1. First and goal, Ole Miss from the 5. McAllister, the tailback. He gets the call and gets the touchdown for Ole Miss.
Great drive for Ole Miss. Deuce McAllister, the workhorse, running and catching. Running behind right tackle Todd Wade, and Kedrick Vinson, the right guard, in there. He's been out with a knee injury for a couple weeks. He's back in there on that drive, and a big touchdown for David Cutcliffe's team.
Les Binkley, in his first year as the Ole Miss kicker, is still perfect in extra points and field goals. And Ole Miss is back within 3. It's 10-7 Alabama in the second quarter. CBS Sports coverage of the Home Depot College football will continue after this word from your local station.
Address, CBS.
Get more than you pay for. More savings. Like 0-9 financing plus 1,500 cash back on Ford Taurus. Or choose 0-9 or 2,000 cash back on Escort. More safety. Taurus received the government's highest front crash test rating, and both Taurus and Escort have available remote keyless entry. More quality. Taurus and Escort are built to last with 100,000 miles between tune-ups. See your local Ford dealer for great deals and get more than you pay for.
There's this place in the neighborhood where they have these outrageous, you pick 2 platters, and basically you pick 2 out of 3 entrees. It's 2 on 1 plate, be it the Cajun steak with all those sizzling spices, or a pile of succulent roasted garlic shrimp, or barbecue chicken with that sauce that sticks to your lips and your mind like some really interesting dream. It was too good to end, but it will, just like the you pick 2 platters. 2 entrees, 1 plate, only at Applebee's.
The new Rock 105. Rock 105. Rock the never, never last. The new Rock 105. The Rock of Chattanooga. Rock 105. The Rock of Chattanooga. This is the new Rock 105.
Sports fanatic John Appicello, weeknights at 6 and 11.
Tonight on CBS, to save a kidnapped child, Sammo and Arsenio must steal a $1 billion ransom. An impossible mission on an all-new martial law. Tonight on CBS. McGee's kickoff, spin to the far sideline, and he goes out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Santonio Beard trying to walk the tightrope, couldn't stay in bounds. The true freshman went out right at the 1-yard line. A big break for Coach Cutcliffe's squad.
Momentum carrying him to the sidelines. If he can't make that catch cleanly, he's got to let it go. And a young player makes a young player's mistake right there. Santonio Beard probably should have let that one go into the end zone. And a big break now for the Ole Miss defense.
Momentum on the side of the Rebels after that 14-play, 83-yard drive, which resulted in the McAllister 5-yard touchdown run. McAllister on the drive, rushed 6 times for 36 yards and caught a pass for 13 at 49 total yards. Looking for breathing room. Alexander stumbles out to the 2. Give Tyler Williams, the senior, number 92. Mays Landing, New Jersey, credit for the stop for Ole Miss.
Really a nice play by Williams, chasing that play from the backside. It looked like Alexander was going to have a crease in there, and Williams caught him from behind.
Tyler's in his 2nd year at Ole Miss as a junior college transfer from Independence Junior College.
Yeah, one of the few guys who didn't play his junior college ball here in Mississippi, played out in Kansas. Also another place for good junior college football.
Tremendous noise as Zhao rolls out of the end zone, has to get rid of it and throws incomplete behind Millens. He was covered by Eddie Strong. Derek Burgess had pressure on Zhao. The Ole Miss rush defense, as we mentioned, 2nd in the nation behind Michigan State. But the opponents have been able to pass. They're middle of the pack in pass defense, 20th overall. Very solid numbers for this unit, but facing the best offense it has seen this season today.
And they're starting to settle in a little bit better, Sean. You know, early in the game, they were on their heels because Alabama was changing things, personnel and formation so much. Now Art Kaufman kind of has a feel for Alabama, and this defense is playing much better.
Play clock at 2 as Zhao takes the shotgun snap and zips one incomplete. No flags. Now there is a flag. Pass interference will be the call against Ronnie Hurd, who hit Antonio Carter a fraction of a second too soon. And a big break for Alabama.
Again, Ole Miss going with a 4-man rush as you see Carter coming right into the middle of the screen here, and Ronnie Hurd just a hair. It is. He was there too early, made contact before the ball was there. He knew where the ball was going. He didn't need to make the contact. And it's a good call by the official.
Crowd doesn't like it, but the officials are absolutely correct. Hurd, a veteran, senior from Lake Jackson, Texas. His brother Grant was expected to be one of their leading receivers this season, but he's out with a knee injury and will take a redshirt year. Ole Miss a little bit thin at wide receiver as a result of that injury to Grant Hurd. Now with the stack to the right, Zhao out of the gun, throws to the right to Carter. That was a lateral. And a gain out to the 19 where Chad Cook, the backup middle linebacker, number 44, made the stop. The junior from Calhoun City, Mississippi, who generally takes over for Sean Johnson, middle linebacker, when they expect the opponents to pass.
A little bit better, a little more disciplined in his pass drops and reading the play action. Sean Johnson really coming on as a physical player, a physical presence in the run game.
Chad Cook, a great two-way player in high school at Calhoun City High. Fullback and linebacker. Rushed for 2,000 yards. Made more than 300 tackles in his career. They'll be trying to run down Freddie Millens, who runs out of bounds with a first down at the 38-yard line. Chased out by Anthony McGee. 19 yards on the completion to Millens.
Again, the protection is so good. When you only rush 4, this offensive line is too good. You're not going to get to Andrew Zhao with 4 people. Millens comes all the way across the formation, did a nice job of coming back to the football, cutting off his route a little bit to come back and make the sure catch, and then using his quickness to get outside. But when you only rush 4 against those 5 offensive linemen of Alabama, Andrew Zhao is going to pick you apart. They're too good up front.
Back to Alexander. Down at the 41. Gain of 3. First the Heisman candidacy of Sean Alexander, and all of the others in the race, helped obviously by the off-the-field problems of Peter Warrick of Florida State. Those problems have put the wide receiver on the sideline for the Seminoles for the last couple of weeks. And Alexander, with each week, Todd, is getting more and more attention as a candidate, and these are a big couple of weeks because they have an Ole Miss outstanding rush defense this week and Tennessee next week.
Big players making big plays in big games, and that's what he's been doing.
The pass from Zhao, incomplete. Intended for Shamari Buchanan. Justin Coleman had the coverage. Looked like a catchable ball that popped out in the lap of Buchanan. We talked about some of the others in the race, along with Peter Warrick, who was definitely the front runner until the off-the-field difficulty, looking to bring him back to the pack. Ron Dane, Joe Hamilton, Drew Brees, the others. Hamilton and Alexander, really the two who seem to have the most momentum now.
Yeah, they are the guys that are out there in front of everybody. Drew Brees could get back in it. Right now, Purdue beating Michigan State 21-6, so a big upset like that could really thrust Drew Brees right back into things as well.
Timeout Alabama. Perhaps a letdown for Michigan State today after that emotional win over Michigan. 6:09 left in the first half here in Oxford, Mississippi.
Hello? Server? Got it.
Total participation, and this means everyone, all working to make sure you get the absolute best experience possible.
Mr. Thurber, you're all set.
Introducing 5-Star, a new approach to selling and servicing cars and trucks. And it's better. We'll prove it. Only where you see these signs.
Hey, Jen, we're counting on you.
Last weekend in the Army Reserve, I had to refuel 6 Apache helicopters in 30 minutes. That got me ready to do battle on Monday.
Hey, not too shabby.
As little as 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Army Reserve.
Need brakes? Now during the Midas $40 lifetime brakes rebate, save $20 per axle or $40 for your whole car. Lifetime guaranteed $40 in savings right now. Go safely. Go Midas.
There is a place on the internet, a virtual city built by SAP out of seamless information. 10,000 companies, every industry, millions of people. Your business linked to theirs in one easy step. Shrink your work, expand your ideas. You've got a business, we've got a city. buildtbysap.com. Welcome to the City of E.
Tim Branduin. Touch of the football at home today. A 56-yard punt return by Kendrick Shanklin out of Baton Rouge en route to the win over LSU. Now back to Alabama Ole Miss.
These avid Ole Miss fans looking on with Alabama facing a big 3rd down and 7 from its own 42. Zal throws first down to the 49-yard line of Ole Miss. Pass caught by Freddie Millens right in front of Justin Coleman.
And I've said this several times about the Alabama offensive line, how well they protect and how they work together. Watch them how they got their hands on each other. Paul Hogan, the center, they're just kind of moving along the line, picking up the men when they come into their gaps, and they give Andrew Zal a nice pocket to work behind. Paul Hogan, when he came back from injury, it really solidified the Alabama offensive line, and I think they have played extremely well the last several weeks.
A quick handoff to the motion man Millens, and he fights for a couple of tough yards to the 47, a pickup of 2. Shane Elam, a right defensive end, junior from Covington, Tennessee, made the tackle. He transferred to Ole Miss from the University of Tennessee in the summer of '97, sat out the '97 football season.
That was really a good play by him because that was such a quick hitting play. I'm not sure he even could see that Millens had the football, but just reacted instinctively and made a nice play, a very quick reaction by Elam.
2nd down, approaching 5 minutes left in the first half. Alabama led 10-0. It's now 10-7. Alexander lunges ahead to the 42-yard line. Headed Elam again with the stop with help from Amzie Williams. Number 46, Amzie Williams, is the first cousin of the brothers Manning. Peyton, Cooper, and Eli. There's Peyton Manning, the great All-American at Tennessee, now in the NFL with the Indianapolis Colts. Younger brother Eli, a true freshman. Backup quarterback, playing with his dad, their dad, the great Archie Manning. Performed so many heroics at the University of Mississippi. Brother Cooper, also an Ole Miss graduate. 10th play of the drive. 3rd down and 2. And Alexander is very close to the first down. Just inside the 40. Armiga Spearman and Tim Strickland made the tackle. There's Archie Manning, considered to be the greatest player in Ole Miss history. His exploits 30 years ago still hold the Mississippi single game passing record. Performance against Alabama in a great game 30 years ago.
Probably a whole lot easier for him to watch these games right now. It was tough when Peyton was playing, and when Eli gets his chance to play, it'll be tough again for Ian Olivia. Right now, he can come, go to the Grove, relax, enjoy himself, and take in Ole Miss football.
And undoubtedly a factor in Eli Manning's decision to come here, the fact that they have a great family history here at Ole Miss with Archie and Cooper. But David Cutcliffe, very close to the Manning family when he was the offensive coordinator and the tutor to Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning and David Cutcliffe are now the best of friends.
Yeah, he wasn't just a coach-player relationship. I mean, they're very good friends. They talk every week, and I'm sure that had a big deal to do with Eli being here.
McClintock on 4th down did not appear to get it. Armiga Spearman went over the top to try to meet McClintock. The fans are booing, and it looks like a pretty charitable spot here for Alabama from the officials.
This is one of those that just depends on the spot. After the second effort, he was not near the first down. Where did he go right away? Good penetration right in the middle by the Ole Miss defense, and Spearman meets him right about at the yard line before he gets shoved back.
It didn't look like that ball ever got across the 40-yard line, but yet they spotted the ball across the 40-yard line, and it is a first down.
Again, it's where the ball crosses, not the head or the player. Does the ball get across the yard line? Well, that was a nice hit by Spearman. Timed his jump, got right up there into the chest area of McClintock. Tough to play better short yardage defense than Ole Miss did right there.
They thought they had him stopped. Very difficult for the officials to spot the ball and very tough to tell in a big pile like that whether in fact he did advance the ball across the yard marker. The officials placed it there, and now it's Alexander run down by Al Rice and Ken Lucas after a gain to the 38-yard line.
Yeah, the other thing Sean does that a lot of great backs in the past have done. Walter Payton did this. Earl Campbell did this. You know, they get up really slow off the ground. They kind of saunter back to the huddle. It almost looks like they're hurt a little bit, and then they just get the ball and go again the next play. He really kind of lulls you to sleep a little bit before he gets the football.
Tim Bowens, the motion man. Zhao, a play action pass, has a man open. It's Millens out of bounds with a first down to the Ole Miss 18-yard line. Ken Lucas had the primary coverage, but Millens was wide open, and he's heading for another 100-yard receiving day. Now with 93 yards receiving on 5 grabs.
Yeah, Ken Lucas tried to jam Millens right off the line and missed. He saw him put his hand out to try to get a piece of Freddie Millens. He missed. The quickness of Millens got him by Lucas, and that's why he was open so quickly.
Coming up on the AXA halftime report, Tim and Spencer bring you up to date on all the scores and highlights. What's coming up on the AXA halftime report. McClintock, the fullback. The ball came out after he hit the ground. Derek Burgess made the tackle. The ball popped out. Stands boo again.
Throwing the fullback a bone. You want him to keep blocking hard. You got to give him the football every now and then. Good call by the officials. The ground can't cause a fumble. And he was clearly down before the ball came out.
McClintock, 6'3", about 252 pounds now. At one point he was up to 271. The coaches had him slimmed down. He's a junior from Quinlan, Texas. Second down. The deep handoff to Alexander going left. And it looked like they were going to stuff him at the line, and somehow he found a little seam and advanced the ball down to the 10-yard line, where Anthony Sims made the stop. He is elusive among his many positive attributes.
He's patient. He waits to see the crease. And you never really get many clean shots on him. He turns his shoulders. He kind of finds those little running lanes. And he makes a lot of runs like that that aren't huge runs, but they're 4 or 5 yard gains that add up during the course of a game.
The only thing that wouldn't jump out is the speed.
Yeah.
Some say 4.6, 4.65 in the 40, but you wouldn't know it when you watch him carry the football. Alexander bounces off a hit, bounces down to the 1-yard line, short of the end zone, but it's a first down for Bama, 1st and goal from the 1. Tim Strickland upended Alexander.
Another fine run. It wasn't a huge yard gain, but another fine run by Alexander, turning the shoulders, keeping the legs moving, falling forward, diving forward with the football. And another nice, long, time-consuming drive by the Alabama offense. This is what they did against Florida 2 weeks ago. Time-consuming offensive possession.
Remember, it started at the 1. There's a touchdown for Alexander. Now 42 career touchdowns, 34 of them rushing touchdowns to tie Johnny Musso for the most rushing touchdowns in Alabama history. A very impressive drive that started just outside their own 1-yard line. And Alexander is on his way to his 6th 100-yard rushing game in a row.
Again, running behind Chris Samuel, the left tackle, clears out that left side. Griff Redmill, the left guard, with a good block, and an easy touchdown for Alexander.
Ryan Flugner, the former walk-on kicker, now on scholarship, boots the extra point. 17 plays, 99 yards, 7 minutes and 23 seconds. Longest drive of the season for Alabama, capped on the Alexander run.
Hi, my car's out front.
We'll get started right away.
Introducing 5-Star, a new approach to selling and servicing cars and trucks.
You're all set.
Great job, guys. Let's run that drill again.
5-Star, certified training so rigorous, only the best make the cut. It's better, we'll prove it, only where you see these signs.
rumors about free computers, but we haven't actually seen one. Not one with a monitor, a year of internet, 24-hour tech support, and a printer. Like a Gateway Essential PC with an Intel Celeron processor. Call us. For $31 a month, it's a PC you can believe in.
Good financial decisions require expertise. Life needs flexibility. Success demands leadership. If there's something you want to achieve, the principal has one word of advice. Plan ahead, get ahead. The Principal Financial Group.
To save a kidnapped child, Samo and Arsenio must steal a $1 billion ransom.
I am shocked.
It's a mission that's almost impossible. All new martial law, CBS tonight.
An impressive drive by Alabama. And Todd, during the commercial break, you mentioned a couple key plays along the way.
Well, everybody's going to remember the spot on the third down and short play, but the third down pass interference on Ronnie Hurd when they had Alabama pinned way back. Mississippi was looking to get the ball about midfield if they make that play. Instead, it turns into a 17-play touchdown drive for Alabama.
So the time of possession numbers, no big surprise based on past performance that each team has had a long touchdown drive in this game. Deuce McAllister decided to bring it out of the end zone. The pays off for him as he got past the 20-yard line out to the 23, where Canary Knight made the tackle for Alabama. This was the big play very early in the drive, the pass interference.
Yeah, Ole Miss had great momentum. They had pinned him down there with the kickoff. They had him third down, and they were in position to make the play, and just Ronnie Hurd a little too early on the contact gave new life to that drive, and Andrew Zhao, and then they did the rest, and Alabama put a great drive together after that.
Stack to the left. That's a lateral. McAllister can throw it. He dumps it off complete to Peterson. Out of bounds. Another razzle-dazzle play out of the David Cutcliffe playbook. Tony Dixon took Peterson out. And Deuce McAllister's now 2 for 2 passing this season. There's a late flag on the play after a gain of 18. Thrown right where the tackle was made on the far sideline.
Well, if this is a personal foul of any kind against Alabama tacked on at the end of this play, it could really put them in position to try to score. McAllister does a nice job getting it to the short receiver, Peterson.
First down.
There was a personal foul. We didn't see it on that replay. But that will move the ball across midfield. And we'll take a longer look at the extracurriculars. Maybe it's the fell out of bounds who gave him a shove.
Boy.
And if that's the call.
Didn't look like a whole lot there.
Jason Jones was the player on the sideline who gave him a little shove. That's really the only thing we could see.
Yeah.
And wow.
But a great opportunity now for Romero Miller. They can try to get a touchdown here.
He has a lot of time, throws it out for Gunn. Great closing speed shown by Reggie Miles. He came flying across the field as he recognized where that pass was going and made a terrific play to drop Gunn for a loss back to the 46.
Great play by Miles and a nice job by Gunn getting to the sideline and getting out of bounds. Even though he wasn't going to gain any yards, he fought to get to the sideline to stop the clock.
Miles back in his native Mississippi. He's from Pascagoula. Romero Miller throws low, but caught by Peterson, short of a first down at the 37. The clock is running with 50 seconds left in the half. 2 timeouts left for Ole Miss, and Miller will use one of them. 17-7. Alabama has the lead in the final minute of the first half in Oxford, Mississippi.
At Transamerica,
why?
We have specially priced life insurance policies for people who still exercise without a trainer. Call a Transamerica agent. The people in the pyramid working for you.
There's this place in the neighborhood where they have these outrageous, you pick 2 platters, and basically you pick 2 out of 3 entrees. It's 2 on 1 plate. You get the Cajun steak with all those sizzling spices, or a pile of succulent roasted garlic shrimp, or barbecue chicken with that sauce that sticks to your lips and your mind like some really interesting dream. It was too good to end, but it will, just like the you pick 2 platters. 2 entrees, 1 plate, only at Applebee's.
With Transamerica Life Insurance and your estate plan, you can be sure your money will go where you want it to go. The people in the pyramid working for you.
To save a kidnapped child, Samo and Arsenio must steal $1 billion ransom.
I am shocked.
It's a mission that's almost impossible. All new martial law, CBS tonight.
Let's quickly take you back to the personal foul penalty against Alabama. We looked at some more replays during the commercial. We think the penalty was actually on 45 constant for that shove in the back of the blocker Flournoy, not for the little shove from Jason Jones standing on the sideline. After the Ole Miss timeout, 3rd down and 4. Here comes a Bama blitz. Miller throws. Flournoy open, but the ball a little bit too long. Flournoy a couple of steps ahead of Kelp Bailey. And Miller didn't have time to focus on accuracy as he was feeling the heat.
This is a pass that I think he throws as well as anybody I've seen. The deep post over the middle. He knew he had what he wanted, single coverage. Knew he was going to get hit. Just a little bit too far for Flournoy, but no safety in the middle. And Flournoy knows too. He knows too. He had it, had his man beat for the touchdown.
Ole Miss has used its final timeout. David Cutcliffe wants to decide what he is going to do here with 4th down and 4 at the Alabama 38. A little bit too long for a field goal try into a light breeze. With this little time left, Todd, if you go for it and you don't get it, Alabama theoretically with 2 timeouts could get in a position to score, but there are only 42 seconds left.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to try to go for it here, and if you make it, you stop the clock for your offense to get in position again to try to get some more points on the board at home. I would guess Mike Dubose, if they stop him on this 4th down, they would be content to go in at halftime winning by 10 on the road.
Next Saturday, the Home Depot College football on CBS Sports brings you a doubleheader. It begins in beautiful Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, on the campus of Boston College, where the once beaten Eagles play host to number 24 Miami. Will be in Tuscaloosa with a big battle in the SEC with national ranking implications as well between number 6 Tennessee and number 11 Alabama. It all begins next Saturday at noon. And stay with the gentleman for the AXA halftime report coming up in just a few moments.
You know, I'm impressed with Alabama's mindset in this game. You know, all their fans are talking about that Tennessee game. This was a real sandwich game for Alabama, but I think the coaching staff has kept the team very focused, and they've played pretty well here in the first half.
3 wide receivers and no tight end on 4th down and 4. Miller throws incomplete. Peterson was open. It was a bad pass. And Alabama takes over on downs with 37 seconds left in the half and 2 timeouts with which to work.
Well, Peterson is the go-to receiver for Ole Miss, and he's open on a little curl route, but the ball thrown high and outside. I said that for you, you know, since
high
the Red
and
Sox
outside,
are playing
yes.
today.
So Pedro doesn't throw too many high and outside today. So here comes Zhao in the tied offense. They'll run right over the ball. We'll see how Coach Dubose elects to play it. Looks like they're lining up to take a knee, as you said, Todd. On the road against a quality foe. 10-point lead at halftime. You have to be content with that.
Now on the quarterback keeper.
And Ole Miss cannot stop the clock. As much speculation these days about the job security or lack thereof of Coach Dubose. That's what happens when you beat a couple of ranked opponents. Might not be any such speculation with a couple more wins for the coach.
As the
And he's with Michelle Tafoya as the first half ends. Michelle?
All right, Sean, thanks, Coach. It looked like Ole Miss had picked up some momentum. They put you deep in your own territory, and yet you overcame that, and a nice chewing of the clock scoring drive. How have you been so effective?
There's no question. Ole Miss has played an outstanding first half. We got to play better in the second half. The 99-yard drive was huge for us right there, and then we come down and let them go back down the length of the field. We got to play better defense. In our special teams, we got to play better. Offense, we got to mix it up a little bit better. I thought we were a little bit predictable in the early downs offense. We got to mix it up a little bit more in the second half.
You like the way your team's handling success so far?
Well, again, it's a 30-minute football game right now. We played 30, and we're on top of this. It's a 60-minute game that we got to be concerned about. We've got to come out and play better in the second half than we played in the first.
Coach, thanks.
Thank you.
Back up to you, Sean.
All right, Michelle, the score here at halftime in Oxford, Mississippi is Alabama 17 and Ole Miss 7. Now let's go directly to Tim Brando in New York.
And they qualify.
Coming up on the AXA halftime report, Spencer Tillman and I will have all of the scores and highlights, including a look at Penn State, Ohio State, after this word from your local station.
Heads up for Everybody Loves Raymond. The address is CBS.
No jacket required. No reservations necessary. No membership needed. In a place with no boundaries, with the best SUV lineup on the planet. Your Ford Outfitters. Get 0.9% financing plus $500 cash back on Explorer and great deals on Expedition. And check out the new king of SUVs, the all-new Excursion. Now at your local Ford dealer, America's Outfitters.
Go, go, go! Police! Take it down! Oh, that's a reliable door. So? I've busted through doors all my life. It's the nicest I've seen.
Look, magnetic weather stripping. Seals like a refrigerator.
That's a forever white frame. It won't yellow.
And a 25-year guarantee.
Other doors only give you 10.
Pretty, too.
Sir?
Go, go, go!
Reliable entry doors. Available at Lowe's and online.
In the trucking industry, wisdom comes with age, and in the last 25 years, Ron Epps International Isuzu has learned a thing or two about meeting customer needs. Our new truck sales department can provide the perfect truck for your business. On a budget, check out our used truck center in Resaca. Need parts? Ron Epps stocks the parts you need most. And don't forget service. Trained technicians work morning till night to get your equipment back on the road. Ron Epps International Isuzu, the answer to all your trucking questions.
More than 30 years, physicians with University Orthopedics have been treating area athletes for their sports injuries. University Orthopedics Sports Medicine program includes strength assessment and personal rehabilitation programs for athletes from recreational to collegiate levels. Their offices in the Sports Barn Life Fitness Complex provide access to advanced diagnostic and therapeutic services. And Saturday morning office sessions allow athletes to be seen promptly after their Friday night game. University Orthopedics. We're taking sports medicine to the next level.
Get instant weather warnings on your email with News 12 Weather Warn.
The AXA Halftime Report is sponsored by AXA Advisors.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Brando, and welcome to the AXA Halftime Report with the score in Oxford, Mississippi. Alabama leading Ole Miss 17-7. Joining me, as always, Spencer Tillman. You know, in our pregame show, Spencer, we talked about the diversification of this Alabama offense, and certainly Freddie Millins is proving your point.
No question. He demonstrated that today. The key is when you open that offense, tremendous things can happen for you. I want to illustrate this. This is Freddie down here at the bottom of your screen. He's isoed up one-on-one with this defender right here. Now, I want to show you what the formation does overall. You see this guy over the slot receiver? He's wider than he normally would be. He would be inside here. But instead, he's outside. This guy's in here to keep Alexander Honest in the backfield. But watch this right here. You cannot bracket coverage this guy when he's the last one. He's going to run a little takeoff route, and watch this. As we roll the play, the defender's got his back to him. He's trying to play catch coverage against a receiver with this kind of talent. Timmy, it will not work. You throw it up there and let that athletic guy run underneath and make plays for you.
This is as wide open as Alabama's offense has really ever been, and you got to give a lot of credit to Charlie Stubbs for making it happen, the quarterback's coach. Let's get right to the college football scoreboard now, bring you up to date. It's Penn State over Ohio State 23-10. LeVar Arrington may not win the Heisman Trophy, but boy, is he a dominator. Leaping to success yet again. Remember that Illinois replay last year? We got a new one to show you for the rest of this season as he gets to Belisari for a sack. Arrington continues to punish the Buckeye QB. Watch here as he tries to get outside contain. Oh, hat to hat. Rashard Casey extends the Nittany Lions lead with a bootleg for a score. After the game, Jopa very happy with defensive intensity.
This was a big football game for us, and we were, you know, we practiced really well, and, you know, we made up our minds. You know, we want to do some things. We're going to have to win a couple of these kinds of games, and I think the defense came to town, came to the stadium today to get it done.
Kevin Thompson suffered a right shoulder injury, did not return in the second half. McCoo, 22 carries, 211 yards en route to the victory. Purdue against Michigan State. The Spartans coming off that emotional victory against the Boilermakers today. Joe Tiller's club getting it done. Drew Brees, 4 touchdown strikes for Purdue. Georgia Tech and Duke, 2 teams coming off overtime victories last week against Virginia, and Duke thought they could get it done today. The cameras, though, ISOing a Heisman candidate. That obviously Joe Hamilton. He can throw out of the pocket as he does there to Des White. Hamilton, as good as he is, once he gets outside contain, he's also excellent in the pocket at only 5'10". Spencer Romine played well for Duke, but it wasn't enough after the Sean Gregory touchdown really iced it. After the game, Hamilton on his Heisman hopes.
Our goals for a BCS championship, I think that can be a distraction if I try to focus on that and try to put my attention on winning the Heisman. I think I go out there, try to get better each week and do my best, and you know, whatever happens at the end of the season is icing on the cake.
Just a cliche-ridden comment from a Heisman candidate. You got to say all the right things in this politically correct world. 38-31 Georgia Tech. Now, K-State against Utah State, 19-0. Jamie Reen taking over for Martin Gramatica, the kicker. He had 4 of them today. Lamar Chapman making big plays on the defensive side. You know, you keep wondering about Kansas State without Darnell McDonald and without Michael Bishop still getting it done, Spencer.
Yeah, Tim, but I'll tell you what, they haven't played anybody but Texas. They don't play anybody significant until November comes around. A&M and Nebraska come a call, and they'll prove that to me then.
You're big in Manhattan, but not Kansas after that statement, big fella. They're one of the real surprise stories. And give Monty Beasel and the rest of that defense some credit. They're getting it done without Mike Stoops, their former defensive coordinator, who's now with brother Bobby in Oklahoma. Kansas and Texas A&M today, 34-17. One of the bigger enigmas this year in college football, R.C. Slocum's club. And again today, Jayhawk quarterback Dylan Smith scrambling in and around the pocket, finds Sean McDermott. Again, busted coverage for the Aggies. They're only down by a touchdown, but then Jamar Toombs, who you wonder why he's not having a bigger year, a couple of yards there for the touchdown, making it 34-17. The final. Aggies still very much a factor in the Big 12 South. Into the Southeastern Conference, where Georgia was down 17-3 late in the third quarter. They come back to win it 27-17. Quincy Carter, a couple of touchdown passes. They get Kentucky next week. Southern Mississippi and Army 14-0. The Golden Eagles, they want to remain in the top 25 after that win over East Carolina. And LSU and Kentucky, they'll be howling on the bayou. Don't forget, the Tigers of LSU get Mississippi State next. Jerry DiNardo, special teams, awful.
Yeah, and it looks like they have pretty good lane integrity here. No one's broken contained. But look, Kendrick Shanklin, he just rips him right through the middle of that coverage team for a big touchdown run there. This is what the spread offense will allow for you here. Watch this. The backers and safeties in tight. You just hand it off to your back underneath. Wide open. He hits his head on the goalpost if he continues on, Timmy.
Mike DeBose was supposedly on bigger hot seat than was DiNardo. That's now changed. The buyout, in case you're wondering, $600,000 if they want to take DiNardo out of LSU. He's got 5 years remaining on his contract. Coming up, we'll continue our look at today's action when the AXA halftime report continues. So far, if Freddie Millins isn't getting it done, he's setting up Sean Alexander. The Heisman wannabe is in the end zone twice in the first half.
I'm from AXA Advisors.
AXA Advisors.
Yes. That's a new name.
For thousands of financial professionals like me
and me.
We help people take the long view, achieve goals like college tuition,
a secure retirement,
a better life.
It's all based
on a relationship, a long-term relationship, and soon, very soon,
we can start working
together,
building your future. AXA Advisors, building futures.
This is the base of erectile dysfunction. So is this. And this. Fact is, 1 in 3 men have some form of ED, a medical condition also called impotence that affects men of every age, race, and background. What else do all these men have in common? They all faced up to their problem and got help. If you're experiencing ED, there's no need to hide your face. Just talk to your doctor. It's the best way to get educated about ED and how to treat it.
There's a line of benchtop and stationary tools out there from Rigid.
a name professionals have trusted since 1923. Built to last, each one carries a lifetime warranty. Engineered for the serious woodworker to be the finest tools available. But there's one thing you should know. You're probably going to want a bigger garage. Rigid Tools, now at the Home Depot.
It is more than a trial by fire. It is a rite of passage. And if you can master your fear, outsmart your enemy, and never yield even to yourself, you will be changed forever. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Here at VMI, we were asked to try the Norelco Advantage for 21 days. There was quiet dissension.
I'm not giving up my blade.
And anxious inquiry.
The heck is this? Goo?
But then we started to realize the lotion actually gave us a closer, smoother shave than we expected, without the nicks and cuts of blades. Our fear diminished. Our hopes arose, and life got a little less hairy.
Come on, babyface, move it!
The Norelco Advantage. It's guaranteed or your money back. Norelco, put it to the test.
A student gains valuable experience from a world-class manufacturer. An American entrepreneur has phenomenal success in the Asian import market. A proud father brings his son to a place that changed his life. The University of Alabama, touching lives and making a difference around the world and right next door.
There's a lot more football coming your way tomorrow with a full slate of NFL regional action on CBS featuring Miami against New England, the Raiders, and the Bills, and the Colts against the Jets kicking off at 1 Eastern, while some of you will see the Seahawks against the Chargers getting underway at 4. And it all begins at noon Eastern with Jim Nantz, Craig James, the Big Pony, Randy Cross with his silver locks, and Jerry Glanville on the NFL Today. Welcome back to the AXA Halftime Report. Tim Brando along with Spencer Tillman. Getting back to the scoreboard today, the Wisconsin Badgers at Camp Randall rolling up a school record in total offense, 705 yards. The Heisman hopeful Ron Dane, the first half hero for the Badgers. Here he gets the ball, a huge hole, races 57 yards for the score. Ron Dane proved he was the star, but the head coach, Barry Alvarez, says, hey, I'm the man, I'm the boss.
Ron, at halftime, are you asked whether you want to go out, or is it just a decision the coaches make?
We take a vote. We give everybody a slip of paper. Should he go out or should he not? And we collect them and then count them up and then go from there. Listen, I run the team.
It's not a democracy. He once coached for Lou Holtz, remember? He learned well. 59-0 career rushing yards for the Great Dane. Well, they're mounting. Just 15 yards behind Charles White all-time. He'll surpass him. The obvious question is, Sean Alexander can't achieve career-wise what this guy will. What does it mean in terms of the Heisman?
Well, it doesn't mean a lot. It's clear to me, as you listen to what Barry Alvarez was saying, he's running things there. He's concerned about Ron Dane being the most valuable player to his team this year. Forget about career marks. College football, particularly for head coaches, is too fickle and too fleeting to be concerned about what happens down the road, Tim.
The fickle fleeting of fate award. 24-10 USC over Notre Dame in a game that hasn't meant anything in 10 years. As far as intersectional rivalries go, that'll make your head turn. 42-30, Clemson wins the final in the ACC today. Lamont Jordan had 177 yards and 4 touchdowns. Virginia and NC State. Wahoo's now trailing by 9 in the second quarter. Jamie Barnett has a touchdown pass. And they're still playing in the Pac-10 and still learning how to tackle. California with a 7-0 lead over UCLA. Clearly the abysmal conference among the BCS elite this year. Coming up, the second half of Alabama and Ole Miss. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of the game.
The AXA Halftime Report is sponsored by AXA Advisors.
I love golf. It's like life. There are opportunities, and there are obstacles. My clients who own businesses, they understand that.
Dave Tornetto, AXA Advisors.
My job is to help them find a balance between growth and risk.
AXA Advisors, part of a global company helping 40 million people.
We may not get a hole in one, but we'll get the ball on the green. Not in some swamp.
AXA Advisors, building futures.
I'm serving a party of 20 at 7 o'clock, whether this pain goes away or not. So I took something stronger, something faster. I took Advil liquid gels. See, they're stronger and faster on tough pain than extra-strength Tylenol, and, well, it just makes sense that they are. Liquid gels are the only pain reliever with liquid inside. Nobody else has that. Nobody. So when you want something that's faster on tough pain than Tylenol, take Advil liquid gels. Pain relief that's stronger and faster.
3 days guaranteed to grab your attention. The first 3 days of Sears Days. The only days when so many sizes, styles, and cycles go so on sale. At some of our best prices of the season, guaranteed. 3 days of all appliances, all electronics, all fine jewelry, in one all-out sale. It's just the first part of Sears Days, but it's the part that ends on Monday. It's Sears Days, the good life at a great price, guaranteed.
They say the ultimate test of a car battery is to put it into a New York City cab. So we did. Napa's new orbital battery is the first to store acid in leak-proof cells. That's important because it makes it virtually indestructible. More than we can say about the cab.
What did you do to my cab?
Napa, over 200,000 parts, and every one is important.
Taxi!
Ole Miss at Oxford, joined in poignant history and powerful words.
I was the writer in residence at Ole Miss from 1980 to 1990, and several of my students have written books. John Grisham used to sit in on my classes.
Is it the words that captured the place, or the place that captured the words? Ole Miss at Oxford, where words come to life.
Marino and Miami are fired up for Bledsoe and the Patriots. Will catch the Raiders battle Flutie and the Big Bad Bill. Coast-to-coast collisions on CBS. Marino and Miami are fired up for Bledsoe and the Patriots. Will catch the Raiders battle Flutie and the Big Bad Bill. Coast-to-coast collisions on CBS.
Back in Oxford, Mississippi at halftime, Alabama leads Ole Miss 17-7. Monday on CBS. The King of Queens big screen TV is missing, and it's football season. Can you feel this man's pain? Watch an all-new King of Queens Monday on CBS. Let's head down live to the field. Here's Michelle with David Cutcliffe.
All right, Sean, thank you very much. Alabama's done a good job of controlling the line of scrimmage. You knew that would be key. Can you take it back?
Well, it's been critical. Obviously, that 97-yard drive was something special, but we had a drive in there where I thought we became physically dominant there. I think we've made some good adjustments at halftime. I'm excited about the opportunity. It's still a close football game. We're going to have to set the tempo in the third quarter.
And part of that's got to be adjusting and not making those penalties, those critical ones that left Bama's offense on the field. How did you address that?
Well, we talked about it before the game going in, but that was an effort penalty on the interference. The guy just broke on the ball. It's a judgment call, so there's not much about that. We're playing smart. We're playing hard. We just got to play better, Michelle.
Coach, thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right, Sean, back up to you.
Big first half for Sean Alexander. He carried 18 times for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns, leading Alabama the 10-point advantage at halftime.
There's this place in the neighborhood where they have these outrageous you pick 2 platters, and basically you pick 2 out of 3 entrees. It's 2 on 1 plate. You get the Cajun steak with all those sizzling spices, or a pile of succulent roasted garlic shrimp, or barbecue chicken with that sauce that sticks to your lips and your mind like some really interesting dream. It was too good to end, but it will, just like the you pick 2 platters. 2 entrees, 1 plate, only at Applebee's.
Well, it rained.
A state of emergency has washed away roads.
For 3 straight days it rained. A series of storms coming. Then the levee broke.
4-foot wave washed through town, tore everything up.
A whole lot of people lost everything.
Everything they had. Another problem was we had all this water.
But you couldn't drink a drop of it.
That's when the truck from Miller rolled up.
I see it and I'm thinking beer.
Beer?
Beer? But it was water.
They stopped bottling beer.
They stopped bottling beer and bottled water for us instead.
Miller, part of the Philip Morris family of companies,
donated thousands of gallons of drinking water to disaster victims last year. For decades, Philip Morris has assisted communities in distress all around the world.
Actually, I could have used a beer right then. But that's another story.
Working to make a difference. The people of Philip Morris.
I guess you could say I'm always looking for a challenge. So when I heard Old Spice had this high endurance challenge, how can I say no? It's a long-lasting, white solid antiperspirant that goes on clear. Look, no flakes. And talk about stopping wetness. I'm out here all day and this stuff really lasts. Guaranteed. So take the high endurance challenge and see if you... Hang on, little buddy.
People, you can come out now. Look, I've got the wireless internet right here in my hand. No wires, no tricks. There's news, sports, even Yahoo, and crystal clear calls, all right here on Sprint PCS. That's right. Come on out. Welcome back to the world.
Introducing the Sprint PCS wireless web.
It's easy. I have a quart for breakfast, another for lunch, followed by a sensible dinner.
Is your car on that oil diet? Stock up at Pep Boys. Right now, Castrol GTX is just 99 cents a quart.
I feel better already.
Pep Boys. Cars like us.
People love us.
Oh, not again.
Back in Oxford, Mississippi, ready for the start of the second half. Alabama will kick off with a 10-point lead. Lane Bearden to kick off. High but short, and handled by Deuce McAllister at the 7. He drove a couple of tackles and made his way out to the 31-yard line, a 24-yard return. Todd, what do you look for in the second half?
Well, I think for Ole Miss to have a shot in the game, Romero Miller needs to really step up his game in the second half. He was only 7 of 14, 48 yards in that first half and had the one fumble. And he's capable of playing much better than that. I've seen him play a lot better, and I think they're going to have to score some points here in the second half. They're not going to completely shut out Alabama in the second half. He's got to play well. They've got to score in the second half.
I got a lot taller during halftime, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Must have been those sandwiches we had.
Play action fake by Miller, going for the deep ball early. One-on-one coverage. Incomplete. Flournoy very well defended along the sideline by Milo Lewis.
You can't say enough about Milo Lewis for Alabama. I mean, he has really been a constant force for them on defense. In great position there, knows where the sideline is, turns and finds the football. He has really played well, and he's playing with confidence. And to be a good corner at this level of football, you've got to play with a lot of confidence because you're left out on an island quite a bit.
Joe Gunn is the tailback, and he is belted. Hit behind the line of scrimmage by Cornelius Griffin. Gunn had a tough time getting it going, and Ole Miss didn't do much on the ground in the first half. Rushed for 72. As Todd mentioned, Miller was not particularly sharp, and the Rebels passed for 66. Just the one impressive drive that resulted in the touchdown. Other than that, not an impressive half offensively for the Rebels.
Yeah, Alabama, I thought, had more control of the line of scrimmage for the most part in that first half on both sides of the football.
Third and long, 3rd and 12, a minute into the third quarter. The blitz results in a sack for Salim Rashid, the second sack of the game for Alabama.
Again, another good call, I think, by Ellis Johnson, the defensive coordinator. A lot of times when you're going against a quarterback who is a little shorter, you have better success blitzing up the middle, bringing pressure right into his face, right at eye level. And Rashid just does a great job of just shedding the block of Sanford, the fullback, and getting to the quarterback.
There's Ellis Johnson. They're coming after the punt. And Reagan King got it off. A shorter punt this time. But Millens backed away, and it took a roll for Ole Miss. Down to the 32-yard line. 43-yard punt for Reagan King. Time now for today's Aflac trivia question. Brought to you by Aflac. That was not the question. What teams have played the most overtime games since overtime was introduced to Division 1A football in 1996? There are 2 teams we're looking for, to give you a little clue. From the 31-yard line, 1st and 10, Bama. Alexander running left. Another quality gain on 1st down. Out to the 38. Mike DuBose made an interesting comment to Michelle on the way off the field at halftime, talking about the play calling got a little bit predictable. There was an awful lot of a tendency toward running on 1st down in the first half for Bama.
Well, yeah, it's good and bad. I mean, the bad was it was a little predictable, but the good was they averaged close to 9 yards per play on 1st down. So they had a lot of success running the football on 1st down, and that's something where Ole Miss had really been good through the first 6 games, playing defense on 1st down.
On 2nd and 4. Alexander with quite an effort to get out to the 44-yard line, where Seneca Taylor made the tackle, and that puts Sean Alexander over 100 yards rushing again. He's had 100 or more in every game. 103 today on 20 carries, so Mississippi has given up 100 yards rushing to an opposing team for the first time this season.
Another vintage Alexander run. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't for a lot of yards, but he turned again what looked like maybe a 1-yard gain into about a 5-yard gain.
Excellent fake, hit as he threw, incomplete. Carried out the fake, perhaps thought almost too long. He did such a great job faking. He held the pose, and that might have given the rush a little more time to get there so that they could hit him and throw the throw to McAdley off a little bit.
Well, the only reason they got pressure was because it was a strong safety blitz from Ronnie Hurd. That's who came from the outside. The linemen and linebackers really thought it was a run, but it was a strong safety blitz, and that's why they were able to get to him. Great fake, hiding the football completely from the linebackers, but the strong safety blitz got to him.
3 minutes played in the second half. Alabama with a 10-point lead. And Antonio Carter might have another 1st down for the Tide. The true freshman from Tallahassee, his brother Tim plays defensive back at Tulane, is to the Ole Miss 46. And tough to tell from here. This will probably require a measurement.
You know, Sean Alexander is a great player, there's no question, and deserves to be considered one of the front runners for the Heisman Trophy right now. But the Alabama offense is playing the way they're playing right now because of Andrew Zhao as much as anything. Because of him being able to throw the football, it's opening things up for Sean Alexander. It's keeping the defense off balance because they're able to run and throw equally well. And Charlie Stubbs doing a great job calling plays. They're well on their way to another 400-plus yard game offensively. They haven't done that 3 times in a row for a long time, several years. So, you know, they've got a nice mixture offensively, and Alexander is benefiting from Andrew Zhao being able to throw the football.
Interesting dynamics now on the Alabama offensive coaching staff. Neil Callaway is the offensive coordinator, but Charlie Stubbs, and there's Neil. Charlie Stubbs is in the press box, calls the plays. He's the quarterback coach. Neil Callaway, I think, deserves a lot of credit. He has no ego about that. He organizes a lot of the offensive meetings, has plenty of input into play calling, but ultimately the play call is given by Stubbs. He calls Alexander's number, a good decision. One man with a chance to get him, and Seneca Taylor had the angle and took Sean out of bounds near the 10-yard line. They'll spot the ball at the 9. That's a gain of 38 yards for Alexander.
Another great block by the fullback McClintock on the strong safety Hurd. Watch the lead block by the fullback on the strong safety, and Alexander breaks through an arm tackle from Tim Strickland, the cornerback. You're not going to knock him down with an arm. Running to the short side, the left side of their offense, behind Chris Samuels and behind the fullback McClintock.
1st and goal from the 9. Impressive possession to begin the second half for Alabama. Zhao on the rollout. McClintock, the fullback, stumbles down at the 2. Hit from behind by Armiga Spearman, but the stumbling allowed Spearman the better opportunity to close ground on McClintock. Well, we mentioned the Ole Miss rush defense, very impressive coming in, but this would be the real test. And so far, it's Alexander passing the test with flying colors and Ole Miss failing.
And they are just so hard to defend when they're throwing and running equally well. I mean, you don't know what defense to call. That time they've been power running with the fullback block, and then they throw it to him.
Alexander into the end zone for the 3rd time today.
3rd time, and the exact same play in the goal line situation. Just running the little stretch play behind Samuel and the fullback. 3rd time they've scored on the same play. It's an offset I formation. The fullback is in position to get into his block, and he just stretches it wide. Samuels with the block. Hogan with the block. McClintock. 3rd touchdown, exact same run for Sean Alexander.
43 career touchdowns, 35 in the rushing. Klugner just did hook the extra point through the uprights. And Alabama has its largest lead of the game. It's 24-7, tied early in the 3rd quarter.
With its powerful V6 engine and rugged construction, the Grand Vitara is perfectly engineered to speed you to safe haven. The V6 Grand Vitara from Suzuki. Motor Week's best small SUV of the year.
Suzuki.
When was the last time you felt 284 horses tugging at your soul? When was the last time you immersed yourself in hand-tufted virgin leather? Can you really put a price on this kind of perfection? Actually, you can, because this $70,000 car could cost you over $326,000 in retirement savings. We just thought you should know. Ask a financial advisor about Sun America, the retirement specialist.
Burger King has added a new word to the English language, craveable. Craveable, adjective, as in the craveable new Chicken Club sandwich is here to stay at Burger King. See, the Chicken Club has all white meat chicken, crispy bacon, and lettuce and tomato. So at first we called it delicious. But that didn't work. Tasty? Not good enough. But craveable just seemed to fit. The dictionary people didn't like it.
I'm sorry, craveable is not a real word.
But folks still seem to be warming up to our Chicken Club.
Burger King. Have it your way.
Gene Littler also playing a 6. Hit nicely. Covering the flag all the way. Right for it. A terrific shot.
Oh, look at this.
Beautiful. What a great shot.
Monday on CBS. Why is a healthy guy like Raymond making out his will? What's in it that's driving his family to an early grave? Find out in an all-new Everybody Loves Raymond Monday, right here on CBS and nowhere else.
That is a funny show.
Very funny. Oh, that camera perch high atop Vaught Hemingway Stadium. Eagle-eye view of that kickoff from Lane Bearden. Boom to the back of the end zone. A touchback. Ole Miss will begin at the 20, and we check in with Michelle Tafoya.
Well, you guys, underscoring how important a good showing would be here today for Ole Miss, the university is hosting over 300 high school recruits and about 400 high school coaches. And one university official told me that's the most he's seen at any single game in his 20 years here at the university. And I'll tell you, before the game, David Cutcliffe shook hands on the sideline with every single one of them. Back up to you.
And those players and coaches among the largest on-campus crowd ever at a college football game in the state of Mississippi. 52,122 here. This state has a population of only 2.7 million. A running play on first down. Joe Gunn tackled by Tony Dixon. When you think about the population of the state, 2.7 million, Todd, and yet they have 3 teams, 3 colleges in this state that are in the top 25 in the country this week. Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and Southern Miss. Florida's the only other state with 3 top 25 teams.
Yeah, and you've got 7 other colleges at smaller levels. You've got 14 junior colleges here in Mississippi. There's great football talent in this state. Per capita, it may be the best state in the country.
Fumble. Recovered by Alabama. Gunn lost the handle as he reached the line of scrimmage. Kelp Bailey recovered the fumble at the 27-yard line.
Well, exactly what David Cutcliffe's offense did not need. They needed to put a drive together. And Joe Gunn runs into his own man. I think it was the fullback Sanford who got stuffed right in the hole, and actually Gunn ran into the fullback Sanford, and that's who knocked the football out. It wasn't an Alabama player. It was his own fullback who got stuffed in the hole, and Miguel Merritt comes up with the football.
Two turnovers by Ole Miss. Alabama played a very clean game. They've had problems with penalties and turnovers, but not today. Good pursuit by the Ole Miss defense. Eddie Strong ran down Sean Alexander for no gain.
I just want to go back to that recruiting story. Why this is such a big day for Ole Miss and for David Cutcliffe is the fact that, you know, there is a lot of talent in this state. 90% of these recruits that are here today are in-state kids. And a lot of, you know, they want to try to make sure they keep the best kids at home. You look at even Alabama. Freddie Millens is a Mississippi kid. Kenny Smith on the defensive line, a Mississippi kid. 2 starting defensive linemen for Tennessee are from Mississippi. So this is a huge opportunity for them if they would play well today.
Now the quick throw to Freddie Millens, the Mississippi native, down at the 19-yard line, short of a first down. Tyler Williams made the stop. Well, time to answer the question, our Aflac trivia question. The 2 teams played the most overtime games since the rule came into Division 1A in 1996. Ole Miss and Oregon. If you got that, give yourself an A+. Ole Miss has 1 more overtime games than any other school with 4 victories. They're 1-1 in overtime this year. Beat Auburn and lost to Vanderbilt, the only loss of the season for Ole Miss. As he moved away from the center, and he's thrown for a loss back at the 22. So in 3rd and short, Sal looked to be an option play. Lost the handle while pulling away from center, and John Rahm covered him back at the 22. And here comes the field goal team.
Big break for Ole Miss right here. They have not been able to stop Alabama in short yardage situations, and I think Andrew Zhao just lost the handle of the football trying to get it deep into the backfield to Sean Alexander. Just never had it clean when he pulled away from center. And a big break for Ole Miss.
That was going to be the play, just a deep handoff to Alexander to the left, which has worked so successfully. Flugner trying a 40-yard field goal. Out of the hold of Patrick Morgan. And Flugner back healthy this week and perfect today. And the lead grows. Bama now leads by 20 midway through the 3rd.
Why do I have Aflac insurance on top of my regular health insurance? Because he has his mother's eyes. Because I still have to teach him to whistle. And because Aflac helps cover what other insurance doesn't. If I'm injured, Aflac even provides cash to help pay bills. So why do I have Aflac? Did I mention he has his mother's eyes? Aflac supplemental insurance. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Who can solve this? Mr. Montez.
Last Saturday in the Army Reserve, I linked up 40 tanks, 60 Humvees, and 7,000 troops. On Monday, class was no sweat.
Not bad, Mr. Montez.
As little as 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Army Reserve.
Need brakes? Now during the Midas $40 lifetime brakes rebate, save $20 per axle or $40 for your whole car. Lifetime guaranteed $40 in savings right now. Go safely. Go Midas.
Come here, boy.
With its V6 power and shift on the fly 4-wheel drive, the Grand Vitara is perfectly engineered to run you and your buddy through any and all terrain. The V6 Grand Vitara from Suzuki.
Wow, Suzuki, huh?
It's Motor Week's best small SUV of the year.
The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by Applebee's Bar and Grill, the United States Army, Aflac, and by Suzuki.
Gorgeous day on the square, downtown Oxford, Mississippi. Not far from the heart of the University of Mississippi campus. One of the most picturesque campuses in the country. What a beautiful town Oxford is. Deuce McAllister takes the Lane Bearden kickoff and runs it back near the 20-yard line.
You know, Sean, we talked about the open week for Alabama and how beneficial that was for them. On the other side, Ole Miss, this is their 7th week straight of playing football games. This team is a little bit tired, maybe a little bit beat up. They have an open date next week, and then they come back and play Arkansas and then have another open week. So it's a kind of a strange scheduling quirk for Ole Miss. They could have probably used an open week earlier in the season. As it is, they had to go 7 straight weeks before getting one.
Straight back on first down, zips one incomplete. Looking for the tight end, Adam Bettis, well covered by Marvin Constant. Well, I mentioned a moment ago, it's a record crowd here, not only in this stadium, but for the entire state of Mississippi. The Rebels breaking their own on-campus record, and they'll be able to add to that mark in coming years. They're going to continue expanding this stadium, add about 8,000 more seats to get the capacity up around 60,000. They're going to build a brand new 40,000 square foot administration building and attach that to the stadium. They're working on a new indoor practice facility. That pass looked like it was deflected, and it still got through to Corey Peterson. Reggie Grimes did get his fingertips on it, but it made it through to Peterson, who advanced the ball out near the 24-yard line. They'll need 6 to get a first down.
Grimes was looking to the end zone. This play had touchdown written on it for Reggie Grimes if he can come down with it. It was a high throw, but as it turns out, good concentration by Peterson and turning nothing into something for Ole Miss.
Out of the gun with 4 wide receivers, 3 to Miller's right. He's looking left, going deep for McAllister. He lunges and makes a tremendous catch at the 38-yard line. The Rebels really needed a big play, and they got it from McAllister. Looked like excellent double coverage from Spencer and Bailey, and that's another one of those plays the Alabama coaches have been talking about. They're in position to make plays in the secondary. Somehow they don't.
Well, this is just a case of McAllister wanting to make the play more than the 2 Alabama guys. This is outstanding effort by McAllister. Even though the ball drew him into the defender and he was going to get hit, great concentration by McAllister. Outstanding play by Deuce.
Marcus Spencer indicating that ball hit the ground, and it was close. 38-yard gain. Draw play to McAllister. First down. Momentum for the Rebels after the big play. It was Joe Gunn who took over for McAllister and raced 16 yards to the 22.
How quickly momentum can change. It looks like Alabama taking control of the game. They get the big reception by McAllister, and they come right back with the big run by Joe Gunn. They set up the draw, and Gunn showing that explosiveness through the hole. 2 good plays in a row by the tandem tailbacks.
Not much difference between the 2. Both very productive. 3 receivers. Miller couldn't sidestep. Yes, he did sidestep the rush, and then he goes down. There is a flag down along the near sideline. Cornelius Griffin finally did take Miller down. David Cutcliffe wants to know what the penalty is. Scores of other games. Clemson another win for Tommy Bowden. NC State, boy, Virginia's had a disappointing year.
Yeah, they looked really good when they went out and beat BYU, a team that was a pretty good football team.
Got a 5-yard face mask against the defense, 5 yards from the previous spot, repeat the down.
They got Kelf Bailey, I think, working against Jamie Armstrong. And really a good fortune penalty for Ole Miss because they had the sack against them, and the penalty keeps it at first down and gives them 5 yards. So good play for Ole Miss.
David Cutcliffe doubles as his own offensive coordinator. He's still getting used to being on the sideline. For all those years that he was the offensive coordinator at Tennessee, he was up in the press box. It's a different story down there with people milling about. Much different vantage point. Not as easy to detect the defenses. Gunn driven back after he carried to the 15. On 1st and 5, he got perhaps a yard before Marvin Constant sent him backwards.
David knew this was going to be a real good test for his team because he said, when we asked him about Alabama, he said, this is the best Alabama team that I've seen since their championship team in '92. He knew this was the most talented team that he's faced at Alabama in a while. And you should take a look at his file.
He took over after Tommy Tuberville departed for Auburn before the bowl game last year. Gunn down to the 7-yard line with a first down.
Nice run behind Kedrick Vincent, the right guard. Again, Vincent has been out for a couple weeks after injuring his knee against South Carolina, playing a lot in the ball game today. The knee must feel pretty good. The junior out of Bartow, Florida. You take a look, Joe Gunn trailing Sean Alexander considerably in this ball game, but in this series, making some big plays for the Rebels.
10 carries today for 44 yards for Gunn. 1st and goal, Rebels. They really need a score. Down by 17 with 4 minutes left now. Down by 20, rather, with 4 minutes left now in the 3rd quarter. Miller to the end zone. Flag down. Touchdown if it stands. Excellent catch by Flournoy.
It's going to be defensive holding on Alabama. They almost tackled the tight end Justin Sawyer. He was the intended receiver. And Romero Miller did a nice job picking up an alternate receiver for the touchdown.
Holding on the defense. Penalties declined. Touchdown.
Second touchdown of the game for Ole Miss. A 6-yard pass. Romero Miller to the sophomore from Fort Myers, Florida, Flournoy.
Sawyer, number 83, was the intended target, and he got drugged down by Alabama. And Romero Miller showed great poise finding the secondary receiver Flournoy for the touchdown.
Terrific catch by Flournoy for his 2nd touchdown of the season. Les Binkley adds the extra point. What a catch this was. And the extra point gets Ole Miss back within 13.
There's this place in the neighborhood where they have these outrageous you pick 2 platters, and basically you pick 2 out of 3 entrees. It's 2 on 1 plate. Be it the Cajun steak with all those sizzling spices, or a pile of succulent roasted garlic shrimp, or barbecue chicken with that sauce that sticks to your lips and your mind like some really interesting dream. It was too good to end, but it will, just like the you pick 2 platters. 2 entrees, 1 plate, only at Applebee's.
With its powerful V6 engine and rugged construction, the Grand Vitara is perfectly engineered to speed you to safe haven. The V6 Grand Vitara from Suzuki. MotorWeek's best small SUV of the year.
Suzuki.
Why can elderly Americans buy prescription drugs across the border in Canada for 1/3 of what they cost here? 60 Minutes, Sunday.
And now a look at this week's Suzuki Heisman Watch Update.
Back at the broadcast center in New York, Tim Brando along with Spencer Tillman. Well, Wisconsin looks down upon rival defenses with disdain. Badger running back Rondé.
That's right. He's asking Sean Alexander. He said, "Are you listening, big fella? I'll see you, and I'll raise you." 17 carries, 167 yards, 2 TDs today. Needs 15 yards to pass Charles White on the all-time rushing mark.
And all of that with only one half played. Didn't even see action in the second half. For more information on the Suzuki Heisman Watch, log on to cbs.sportsline.com.
The cheerleaders, the big crowd backed into it here in Oxford after the Ole Miss touchdown. 27-14, Alabama. Just under 4 minutes left in the third quarter. An onside kick by Carlisle McGee, and the Rebels have it. They caught Bama by surprise. And Ryan Hamilton recovered it for Ole Miss.
You got to have the guts to make this call at this time in the ball game. David Cutcliffe with the final call. It's a good kick and a nice job of blocking there to free up the football. Kevin Thomas, number 39, was down there first and got into the defender to knock him away from the football, enabling one of his teammates to fall on the football. Well-timed onside kick call by David Cutcliffe.
Well-timed, well-executed. Then momentum continues on the side of the Rebels. 1st and 10. A blitz. Miller rolling away from it. Has Peterson open! Out of bounds inside the 20 at the 18.
What a great play this is. It's a sprint out. And Peterson is in motion. It looks like he's just going to run a little out route off the sprint. But then he turns upfield on Kelf Bailey. The 7th time they've gone after Kelf Bailey. This time they connect for a big completion. Well-executed play right after the onside kick.
35-yard gain. Peterson at 6 catches against Bama last year. Tuscaloosa has 6 more today. 3 wide receiver. McAllister, the tailback. He takes it on the draw. Alabama not fooled. Little gain on the play. Darius Gilbert and Marvin Constant combined to make the stop.
Boy, it's always easier for me to see from this vantage point, but it looked like McAllister had a lot of room to the right as he got through into the middle of the defense. He had a lot of room the other way, and he cut back inside. He had his center, Ben Claxton, getting in position to make a block. Might have been able to turn that one into a big play.
Alabama dominated the first quarter. Ole Miss has had the edge since. And the Rebels asked for a timeout. The play clock at 8. 3:07 left in the third. Ole Miss climbing right back into the football game.
Stuart, can I see you in my office, please?
That kid is sick.
That hinge is squeaky.
Very sick.
Stuart, get in here.
Sure thing, Mr. P.
Stuart, I just opened my Ameritrade account.
Let's light this candle. Let's go to Ameritrade.com. It's easier than falling in love. What do you feel like buying today, Mr. P?
Kmart.
So research it. All this stuff is provided for you free of charge.
No cost.
Yeah, that's synonymous with free.
Looks like a good stock.
Let's buy.
Let's buy 100 shares.
All right, click it in there.
Okay.
How about 500?
100, Stuart.
Feel the excitement? You're about to buy a stock online.
Oh, fabulous. I'm thrilled.
What did that cost me?
$8, my man.
$8?
$8. You're riding the wave of the future, my man. I gotta get a soda.
All right.
I'm sorry, Mr. P. I'm having a party on Saturday night. If you really want to go.
I'm going to try and get there. Thank you, Stuart.
Happy trading.
Thank you.
Rock on.
All right, Stuart.
Ameritrade. Believe in yourself.
After the Ole Miss timeout, it's 2nd down.
It's Richard Bisaccia, the special teams coach for Ole Miss. Came over from Clemson this year. Big play by his special teams setting this drive up.
Miller turned left and throws back to the right, and he threw it away. And that's going to be grounding. Well, after a timeout, you expect a little more than that.
Well, they had a special play called. It looked like they were going to try to lure everybody to the left. Looks like they were going to try to lure everybody this way and throw it back over to this side of the field, but it was well covered by Alabama. They wanted to run a screen maybe to Joe Gunn, and there was a defender right there shadowing Gunn, and Romero Miller had nowhere to go with the football, threw it away, but the officials called the grounding.
And that's a costly penalty back to the 30. From here, it'll be a 47-yard field goal. The longest for Binkley is 45. Third down and 21 for Ole Miss at the Bama 30. Miller with a lot of time, throws, incomplete. Peterson had a shot at it, couldn't corral it. Milo Lewis had tight coverage. And here comes Les Binkley, the field goal kicker, attempt the 47-yarder. And it's a disappointment for Ole Miss to have to settle for the attempt. It'll be even more disappointing if Binkley misses for the first time. 9 for 9, the most field goals anyone has made in the country without a miss. Is a junior from Memphis, Tennessee. Started out at University of Tennessee, went to a couple of junior colleges, now is here at Ole Miss. And here's the longest field goal of his career for the Rebels. 47-yarder for Binkley. And it's a 10-point game with 2:45 left in the third.
You're disappointed you didn't get the touchdown, but you'll take the points at this point in the ball game. You meant for the onside kick. You at least cashed in for 3 points.
No, this is shaping up as a dramatic finish, and there have been some great games in this rivalry. We told you about 1969. It's our Applebee's Traditions of the Game. Ole Miss versus Alabama 30 years ago, October 4th of '69. The star of the game was Archie Manning. And Ole Miss, an SEC record, 540 yards of total offense. He rushed for 104 and scored 3 touchdowns himself. He threw for 436 and 2 TDs, but in the end, Scott Hunter's touchdown pass proved the difference as Alabama won 33-32.
And the story goes that at the end of the game, John Vaught and Bear Bryant met at midfield and shook hands, said they both agreed it was the worst game they'd ever seen because they loved defense, and there was no defense played in the ball game. Tons of offense played.
Millen's hoping he'll have a chance to handle this kickoff. He didn't get a chance on the last one because it was a successful onside kick by Ole Miss. McGee couldn't get Beard to catch one along the sideline this time. That's out of bounds. Third time this year McGee's done that. And coaches don't like that. The ball come out to the 35-yard line. Excellent starting field position for Alabama. Well, 2 of the most successful coaches ever in this league. Bear Bryant, as successful as anyone ever. Bear Bryant and John Vaught. Coach Vaught still alive.
Still going at it.
Still playing golf 3 or 4 days a week. I believe they told us yesterday he's now 90 years old.
90 years old.
Sean Alexander, the lone back. And they stop him after a gain of 1. Sean Johnson, the junior middle linebacker from Brewton, Alabama, made the play. Well, there's Coach Vaught. Head coach, 47-70. Out for 2 years. The program struggled a bit, and they brought him back for another year.
He's got to be really pleased with David Cutcliffe, too, because of Cutcliffe's commitment to saying, hey, he doesn't want to have another job. He came here by choice, and he hopes to stay here for the rest of his career.
2 minutes to play in the third. Zhao, flag down. That was pass interference. No question about that. Shamari Buchanan was hit early by Tim Strickland.
You know, it was interference, but Strickland read this soon enough and was in position quick enough that he could have made a play for the ball rather than going through the defender. Watch Strickland. Now he breaks on the football. He just needs to just move a little bit to the left, and he either makes an interception or he knocks it down cleanly without making any body contact. It was a good read by Strickland, good reaction, just can't make the contact.
Tim Strickland, senior from Memphis, 4-year starter at a string of 37 straight starts in a row, ended when he could not play against Vanderbilt because of a back injury earlier this year. He blocked a field goal last year in the game at Alabama and sent that game into overtime. Alexander. Out to midfield. Sean Johnson and Eddie Strong combined on the stop. I think that's a great point you made about David Cutcliffe. Tommy Tuberville, when he was the coach, he was very popular. He got the program going, had some success, had them heading to the Independence Bowl last year. But he left under such bad circumstances. Sort of said all along he wasn't really talking to Auburn, and then after their last regular season game, he told the players, I have a decision to make. Then he was gone without ever saying goodbye to the players. And that's what burned people in this area, the manner in which Tuberville left. Cutcliffe arrived a couple of days later and said all the right things, said he hopes to retire here. And he means it. Zhao throws on the run, incomplete.
And, you know, to further that, I mean, there are a lot of coaches that would maybe look at an Ole Miss job and look at it as a stepping stone. They wanted to go somewhere bigger or somewhere where there's a bigger stadium or whatever. David Cutcliffe didn't look at it that way. He looked at it as a great opportunity to come to take this team to the next level, to bring his family here to a nice place to live, high quality of life, and that's great for Ole Miss. It's great for David, and it's great for Ole Miss.
Well, there's a lot to sell here. You mentioned the in-state talent. Of course, they're competing with all the other SEC schools, the other in-state schools. It's an excellent university, a beautiful town, wonderful campus. Zhao throws incomplete. The receiver, Antonio Carter, stopped. And I think Zhao thought he was going to continue toward the middle of the field. So it's 4th down. And a punt upcoming from Alabama. First, let's check in on the status of Kendrick Clancy. Here's Michelle.
Well, he's re-injured that same ankle, you guys, and he's been limping around quite a bit, being tended to by the training staff. It doesn't look like they're in any hurry to put him back out there. He's very slow, in pain, and it looks like he's going to be sidelined. He's questionable right now. We'll keep you posted.
He was really looking forward to this game from Tuscaloosa. Used to watch Bama practices over the fence. Wanted to go there, wasn't recruited by Alabama. The punt from Morgan goes into the end zone. Kendrick Clancy's mother in the 9th grade gave him a choice. She said, I need you to be involved in an extracurricular activity to help you stay out of trouble. You can be in the band or you can play football. And Clancy said, I'm going to play football. Didn't have any interest in the band. And that's what got his football career started. 6 sacks on the year. A team high. He was the MVP of the Independence Bowl win over Texas Tech, David Cutcliffe's first game as coach. And that's really when a lot of folks around the rest of the country started to hear about Kendrick Clancy.
Yeah, he's a factor. I mean, he is a disruptor when he is healthy, and that didn't look too good, him hobbling on the sideline there.
Deuce McAllister is the tailback. They give it instead to the fullback toward Sanford. A short gain out to the 23-yard line. Tomorrow on the NFL Today, we hope you'll join Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry for all the latest NFL news. Randy Cross looks at the Miami-New England shootout between Dan Marino and Bledsoe. Heisman Trophy winner Marcus Allen visits fellow Heisman Trophy winners Eddie George and Ricky Williams. They get set to battle it out on the field when Tennessee takes on New Orleans. All coming up tomorrow, noon Eastern on the NFL Today. For all the scores and highlights, stay with the guys for the NASDAQ Halftime Report. 2nd and 7. Miller, a lateral to Deuce McAllister. And he dances out to the 24-yard line. And it will likely be the final play of the 3rd quarter.
Nice job by Milo Lewis and Darius Gilbert both getting over there and turning that into a short gain. Whenever you've got a dangerous guy like McAllister out there one-on-one, it's tough to make the tackle.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score Alabama 27 and Ole Miss 17. We'll return to Vaught Hemingway Stadium right after this message and a word from your local station.
How far do you have to go to be the best on earth? A long, long way. Introducing an all-new ATV with Honda's legendary reliability. Available with push-button shifting and 4-wheel drive. The new Honda Rancher for the ranch we call Earth.
Stop it! Need brakes? Now during the Midas $40 lifetime brakes rebate, save $20 per axle or $40 for your whole car. Lifetime guaranteed $40 in savings right now. Go safely, go Midas.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals?
It's Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue. So don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
This October, stand up for fall with Robin Williams, Martin Short, Norm Macdonald, Heather Locklear, Alec Baldwin, Keyshawn Johnson. And Monday, don't miss Ricky Lake.
Wake up to the all-new early show with Brian Gumbel and Jane Clayson, coming November 1st.
Throughout the New South, Dodge Ram's payload and towing capabilities are the stuff of legend. But there's a load more. Ram introduced the world's first quad cab. Ram's available Magnum V10 is the largest and most powerful V10 in a full-size pickup. And Ram pickups are the longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. We could go on, and on, and on. Now you can save $595 on a 5.9-liter Magnum V8 engine.
Every foot is unique.
Like pieces of a puzzle.
So Just for Feet is having a sale on the world's largest selection of New Balance.
Low art.
Low price.
$69.99 for the NB 999.
High art.
Lower price.
$49.99 for the 580 and 680.
Average art.
Below average price.
$39.99 for the 750 and 701.
And for kids, the 701 and the 750.
For just $29.99.
The shoes that fit your feet.
The store that fits your needs.
A fitting sale on New Balance.
This week at Just for Feet.
With the 13th pair is free.
No, no, no! Police! Take it down! Hold it! That's a reliable door. So? I've busted through doors all my life. It's the nicest I've seen.
Look, magnetic weather stripping.
Seals like a refrigerator. That's a forever white frame. It won't yellow.
And a 25-year guarantee.
Other doors only give you 10.
Pretty, too. Sir?
Go, go, go!
Reliable entry doors. Available at Lowe's and online.
Sports fanatic John Appicello, weeknights at 6 and 11. Sports fanatic John Appicello, weeknights at 6 and 11.
Start of the fourth quarter here in Oxford, Mississippi. Alabama leads by 10. Third down and 6 for Ole Miss. Miller throws on the run, caught by Corey Peterson. Lots of running room. Out of bounds in Alabama territory at the 40-yard line, a gain of 36. Corey Peterson has been making big plays for Ole Miss throughout his distinguished career here.
Well, there's a blitz by Alabama, and Romero Miller is going to roll right into the blitz. But it's picked up nicely by the running back. That enables Miller to get underneath it and find Peterson alone out on the sidelines. The blitz left man-to-man coverage, but the blitz was picked up by Ole Miss.
7 catches, 125 yards for Corey Peterson. Exactly the same numbers he had in the win against Auburn. He had the game-winning touchdown reception in overtime. And Todd, Ole Miss this season has an excellent track record in the fourth quarter, having outscored its opponents 46-17. I would imagine as a player that's the kind of thing the players are aware of, and it gives them confidence.
Yeah, it should, and it should give the fans confidence. They have played their best football in the fourth quarter. That was a huge third down conversion right there by Romero Miller to Corey Peterson to keep this drive alive.
Second down. 9 yards to go for first down. First minute of the fourth quarter. They fake the handoff. Miller throws. Caught. L.J. Taylor, the freshman. His second catch of the afternoon, and he might have been tackled by the face mask or the victim of a late hit out of bounds as a flag is thrown late at the 16-yard line. 23 more on the completion for Ole Miss.
Romero Miller starting to heat up a little bit. This is a great throw as he's stepping up in the pocket.
5-yard face mask on the defense. 5 yards. First down.
This ball is thrown perfectly to Taylor as he's moving. Didn't have to slow down. Didn't have to reach back for it. And then at the end, 5-yard face mask on Marcus Spencer. You can see the hand up around the face. Yeah, he did grab it. Lucky he didn't get called for a 15-yard.
Yes.
Looked like he used it to help make the tackle.
Ball right on the 12-yard line. Ole Miss down by 10, but on the move. First and 10 with McAllister. Now the tailback. He takes the handoff. And a wobbly run loses yardage. Reggie Miles up from the secondary to drop that play for a loss back to the 14. The loss of 2.
Reggie Miles was just an extra defender that was not accounted for in that power run. You've got a tight end, you've got a fullback, but the safety Miles just came and slipped right inside of the fullback Sanford and made the play behind the line of scrimmage. I think he kind of fooled the fullback Sanford getting up there so quickly to the line.
McAllister remains the tailback. The Sanford lined up offset. 3 wide receivers. Miller might be changing the play. They just did get the play off, and if they did change it, it wasn't communicated because Peterson had stopped, and Miller threw the ball to the corner of the end zone.
Well, Alabama showed blitz, and they kind of tipped their hand, and Romero Miller read it, and he tried to audible, but the problem was the play clock was almost down, and I don't think he was able to clearly get the message sent out to Corey Peterson. He had to really hustle to get that play changed. Didn't get it correctly communicated. So another big third down play now for Romero Miller.
An excellent two-sport athlete in high school was Miller, drafted in the Major League Baseball draft by Milwaukee in the 15th round. While in high school, Miller throws. Too hot to handle. Intended for Maurice Flournoy. Coverage from Milo Lewis, and they'll send Binkley on again to try to get within a touchdown.
Ellis Johnson deciding to go after Romero Miller again. Pressure on the inside. Pressure coming from the outside as well, and he had single coverage, but that ball's got to be thrown down. That quick slant is a hard one to catch if it's high. Got to get that one down around the numbers so he can catch it and turn upfield.
Binkley, Ben Craddock, the holder. 32-yard try. That's his first miss, and a very costly one. They would have been within 1 score. Binkley misses for the first time as a Rebel. Now 10 for 11 in field goals, and he hasn't missed an extra point this year. Still a 10-point lead for Alabama. Binkley knew it immediately.
When you add up gas, maintenance, insurance, and financing, it comes out to about $8 a day to drive my Saturn. How hard can it be to save $8?
I may help you.
Yeah, can I get a number 3?
For an extra 50 cents. Would you like cheese on that?
I think I'm gonna go cheese-free today.
For $1 more, would you like to try our Mega Tub?
I don't think so. Of course, your results may vary. You may like cheese more than I do.
Need a new water heater? GE Smart Water Heaters have the best warranties around, and installing your GE Smart Water Heater is easy. Just give the Home Depot a shout.
There is a place on the internet, a virtual city built by SAP out of seamless information. 10,000 companies, every industry, millions of people. Your business linked to theirs in one easy step. Shrink your work, expand your ideas. You got a business, we've got a city. MySAP.com. Welcome to the City of E.
To catch a jewel thief, Gary has to pretend he's married to a cop.
You're staying if I have to handcuff you to that bed.
Wait till you see The Honeymoon on Early Edition CBS tonight.
Well, the costly miss of a relatively short field goal. And that can be a deflating experience for a team with momentum on its side. Ole Miss still down by 10. Alabama look to move the ball and run some clock. Doing both, Sean Alexander. 15-yard gain out to the 35. Here's Michelle Tafoya.
Well, after missing that field goal, Les Binkley was visited by about 24 of his teammates saying, it's okay, it's okay. You know, he spent 2 years as a walk-on kicker at Tennessee before transferring to Montville Community College to play baseball. He hit a respectable .342 there. But then he transferred to Northwest Community College here in Mississippi to resume his football career. And after earning All-America honors there, he made his way to Oxford. He's quickly become a hero, and that's why his teammates like him so much.
He grew up a Volunteer fan, idolizing Quad Revez, but once he got to Tennessee, he realized he was stuck behind Jeff Hall. He was one of the best kickers in the SEC during his 4-year tenure at Tennessee. Alexander carries again out to the 42-yard line. Everywhere Bigley went, it seemed, there was some problem with either baseball or football or both, and he wound up here.
Came here from Northwest Community College, and he was coached there by Bobby Ray Franklin, who was an outstanding quarterback here at Ole Miss, 1957 through 59. So,
did you play against him?
No, I didn't play against him.
Slightly before your time.
Just a little bit.
Clock running down toward 12 minutes remaining. Second down and 3. 171 yards and counting for Alexander. And he gets 1 on that carry. Shane Elam wrapped him up. Sunday on 60 Minutes, why can elderly Americans buy prescription drugs across the border in Canada for a third of what they cost here? Find out on 60 Minutes Sunday.
Big play right here for Ole Miss. Now their run defense has kind of been their strength. It's 3rd and 2. You got to believe they're going to give it to Sean Alexander.
He gets it, running left again, and this time they saw that one coming. Alabama with all kinds of success running behind Chris Samuels. And finally, Ole Miss said, we're not going to let you do that again, and Tim Strickland was up from the corner.
Nice job by Ronnie Hurd, the strong safety, taking on the fullback and forcing Alexander to cut it back inside a little bit. There were more blue jerseys there. A good play by Ronnie Hurd, maintaining leverage and forcing that play inside.
So here's Patrick Morgan to punt as the clock goes under 11 minutes remaining. Ole Miss with 2 timeouts remaining. Alabama has all 3. Corey Peterson looking back toward the setting sun. Standing at his own 15-yard line. They hit the kicker.
No, they held the rusher.
Well, that's what happened. The flags came down late.
Ahmad Galloway, number 29, is going to be the guy they called for the holding on Sheldon Morris.
And the flags came down right at the foot of the kicker. I looked away, mistakenly thought that it hit the kicker, but here's the holding call at the bottom of the screen.
Sheldon Morris comes inside, and Galloway with the takedown right in front of the official.
And the happy Morris realized that the official saw it. Everybody saw it except me. Was busy watching that very nice high punt by Patrick Morgan, but he's going to have to do it again. 49-yard punt
on the kicking team, 10 yards from the previous spot, and repeat 4th down.
They had one big play from their kicking game with the onside kick. Morris thought he might have had a chance to get a block on this one. Knew that he was held. Nice job drawing the penalty.
I thought he was mad. That's why I thought it was roughing the kicker when I looked back and saw him jumping up and down and the flag on the ground. It was clearly a holding call. And Morgan will try again with the ball snapped from the 34-yard line, and Peterson moves up to the 26.
Ole Miss has to be careful here. The worst thing they could get right now would be a roughing the kicker. They're kind of fired up. They were close on that one. They've got to be disciplined on this punt rush.
4th down and 11. Low snap, not a problem. And the kick, not a problem again. Fair catch. Called for and made. The crowd groans. You're supposed to have a 2-yard radius. And Shantu Ray was about 1 yard from Peterson, but no flag thrown. 41 yards of the punt, no return. Ole Miss begins at the 27 after this.
As you might expect, Teller and I don't see eye to eye on investing. I like to avoid risk. Teller's a little more daring. We do, however, share the same new way to trade online.
Introducing Power Street by Fidelity, the first site with trading tools customized by Lycos to fit your life, your goals, your unique way of doing things.
Look, the market's up. Or, in your case, down.
Power Street Online Trading. Call or visit Fidelity.com to open an account.
Hey, man. How come every time I call you, you're on the phone? Who are you talking to?
My friends, family. I call them a lot since I don't get to see them that much.
Phone bills must be killing you.
Not at all. I dial 10-10-321.
It's only 8 cents a minute for calls over 10 minutes. That's 50% off.
And when you're talking with family and friends, you just know you're going to be on for a while.
Sounds good. My wife's on the phone all the time with her sister. Hey, man, am I ever going to get to shoot?
Not when you're playing against me.
In feature films, the production assistant gets stuff where it needs to be. A dozen glaze, a dozen chocolate. So my car is pretty much my office. In 8 days, I drove about 1,000 miles. Some people may have a window office or a corner office. Me, I've got a window office that corners.
Lease a Saturn SL for $159 a month for 39 months. $14.95 due at lease signing.
Julie, what's your 20? I'm in the car.
The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by Fidelity Investments. 10-10-3-2-1. Napa Auto Parts. And by the Saturn S Series.
With Roanoke, the Faulkner House, one of the famous landmarks here in Oxford. First and 10. Ole Miss, it's 27, down by 10, 10 and a half left in the fourth quarter. Miller has a man open, flag thrown to the secondary. Right as Flournoy made the catch, the flag came down, deep downfield. It'll be a first down if the play stands out to the 43-yard line. It would be a gain of 16.
Well, it's either going to go against Adam Bettis, the tight end for Ole Miss, or Tony Dixon, the free safety at Alabama. They were the ones that kind of got tangled up on that play.
Well, apparently it's against Alabama because the referee is talking to the Rebels.
Holding against the defense. Decline. First down.
This was really a nice play by Romero Miller because there were 3 receivers play side, and they were all covered extremely well by Alabama. And he had to find Flournoy coming from the backside. Did a nice job of getting his body in position to make that throw. Romero Miller has really settled down in the second half. I said that for Ole Miss to have a chance, he was going to have to really step up his game, and I think he's done that.
Deuce McAllister, the tailback. Corey Peterson, the motion man. Play action pick all day for Miller. Running room for Miller. Out of bounds. With an apparent first down just across the 47-yard line of Alabama. Let's find out what's happening with the Fighting Irish today. Here's Tim.
Sean and Todd, this game has not meant national championship implications since Tony Rice was playing back in 1989, but it's the best comeback since the '79 Cotton Bowl. Jabari Holloway recovers the Jarius Jackson fumble. Notre Dame once down 21-0, beats USC 25-24. Who's going to represent the Pac-10 and the BCS Bowls, fellas? They're going to be hard-pressed to find one deserving.
Wow. That's a terrible year for the Pac-10. That was very similar to a play at the end of the Notre Dame-Purdue game when Notre Dame fumbled in the end zone recovery, but the official said the ball was down short of the goal line. And Notre Dame never did get that game-winning score. On first down, it's towards Sanford. Down to the 40. Quality gain on first down. Picked up 6. Here's Michelle.
Well, you guys, Ole Miss starting split end. Jamie Armstrong is out of this game. He rolled his right ankle and got a bloody nose in the third quarter. 7 trainers worked on him, taping up the ankle and cleaning the blood off his uniform, but to no avail. The ankle is too bad. Trainer Tim Mullins told me Armstrong will not return.
And they were already thin at wide receiver. The absence of Grant Hurd. Lost for the year with a knee injury. They're deep down the depth chart at wideout. Sanford carried again. Kenny Smith stopped him short of the first down at the 38. They'll need about 2 yard and a half perhaps on this third down play to move the chains. We're under 9 minutes left.
Ole Miss has gotten some mileage out of that quick hitter to the fullback in this ball game because Alabama's defensive linemen like to charge upfield and they're quick off the football. They've actually stuck that in there and snuck the fullback in there pretty well today.
Tight formation. Bettis the tight end. The move man, McAllister, bounces ahead. With the second effort close to a first down. I'd say from here he's short, but it's going to be very close. Darius Gilbert made the stop.
What a great effort, though. I mean, now you got to remember this guy's shoulder is still bothering him. He re-injured it last week against Tulane. And it's a tender left shoulder that he has, and he's sticking in there leading with that left shoulder and fighting forward to try to get the first down. That's good toughness in there by Deuce McAllister.
At first, the officials indicated 4th down. Now they're going to measure.
You got to measure it at home. I mean, David Cutcliffe can't let you not measure it here in Oxford.
They ran an extra tight end, Mitch Skrmeta, onto the field. It looked like they were going to go without a huddle, just get right up over the line. They might have had a play ready for this situation. But when the officials decided late to bring the chains on, and he is well short, you wonder if that changed his thought process now, because they were ready to go with some sort of a quick
They did that on Thursday. They worked on running in a 3 tight end formation and going right with the quick count, and that's what they were prepared to do. And now the surprise of that is gone. That was a good catch, Sean. David Cutcliffe talking to Romero Miller now, probably going to an alternate 4th down play.
They're 0 for 1 on 4th down today, 4 for 6 on 4th down conversions this season. 8:21 left, 4th and 1.
Well, normally I would say a quarterback sneak here is good when you need less than 1, but Romero Miller, not a very big guy, 6'1", 195 pounds.
It's McAllister for the first down. He slid to the 33.
Good lead block by Shane Grice in there, 6'1", 300-pound junior offensive guard. Leading up in there, number 68. McAllister just got right on his hip and followed him for the first down.
Quarterback Miller had them quickly back to the line. The clock stopped to move the chains. They didn't lose much time. Miller zips one for Peterson. First down and out of bounds as well at the 22. Huge afternoon now for Corey Peterson. And he's done it to the 2 big Alabama schools. Offered earlier in the year when he had 7 catches, 125 yards and 2 touchdowns, including the game winner in overtime. Today, 8 receptions against Alabama for 137 yards receiving.
Good protection by Ole Miss. You know, this offensive line was getting banged around a little bit early in the ball game, but I think here in the second half, the offensive line at Ole Miss is starting to really assert themselves. They've been physical all year. Maybe they were a little bit in awe of Alabama early in the game. They're starting to settle down and control the line of scrimmage a little bit.
Now 3 wide receivers, no tight end on 1st and 10. Draw play, McAllister trying to turn the corner. Inside the 10, inside the end zone, touchdown!
Great run. What a great run. David Cutcliffe said he's as fast as any guy I've been around. You see the speed as he gets to the corner, and then the presence on the sideline to stay in bounds. I think Alabama thought he was going to run out of bounds here at the end of the play, and he just tiptoed into the end zone. Great speed and presence on the sideline by McAllister.
Now Binkley with 7:33 left. Makes it a 3-point game. Ole Miss once down 27-7. Now within 3 points midway through the 4th quarter.
Hi, I'm Maximum Protection, the authority for Napa Gold filters. Today's driving conditions are severe, with frequent stopping and road dirt. But I hold 45% more dirt than the leading national brand. And that's important, because I help your engine last longer. So put me to work and get the maximum protection of Napa Gold filters.
Napa, over 200,000 parts, and every one's important.
With an 83-year truck heritage behind us, we decided to try something a little different.
Hey! You left your wallet on the trunk!
Introducing the 215 horsepower Rally Sport-inspired Isuzu V-Cross. Theoretically, it's still a truck.
Once again, the market saw incredible gains. Tech is up, utilities are up, manufacturing is up, industrials are up, transportation is up. Everything is going through the roof. Except your portfolio, Steve. It pretty much busted. But you'd know if you had web TV and used the internet to follow your stocks on TV. Oh, and your wife's leaving you.
Honey?
In other news, the governments of 3 foreign nations have created a
CBS Sunday. After living life in the fast lane, Franny returns to her roots and discovers what matters most.
This is where I want to be. This is my home.
Farrah Fawcett in a world premiere movie. Silk Hope, CBS Sunday.
The band playing with great vigor after the touchdown that brought Archie Manning to his feet, along with the rest of this capacity crowd. McGee booms one in the end zone. Santonio Beard took a knee. Momentum has shifted to the side of the Rebels. And you think back to that missed 31-yard field goal not long ago by Les Binkley. Ole Miss could be even right now.
Could be even with that field goal, but a great touchdown drive by Ole Miss. Shane Grice, the right guard, got a huge block on the 4th and 1 play in front of McAllister. He also got the key block on McAllister's touchdown.
They stack 3 wide receivers again to the right. And they throw quickly to Freddie Millens. Out of bounds after a short gain, perhaps 3.
Let's take a look at the touchdown again. I mentioned Shane Grice. Here he is right here. Watch his block that just kind of opens up this hole. Drives him upfield. Kendrick. And then the speed of McAllister. Shane Grice, junior, a junior college transfer, played at the same high school, Shannon High School, as Romero Miller. Big block there.
2nd and 7. Alabama just 105 yards of offense in this half at the 2:23 in the first. Zhao deep down the field. Big first down for Millens. Tackled by Justin Coleman, a reserve quarterback, but that's a first down all the way out to the 44-yard line.
I think this is a good job by Alabama, too. I think they got a little complacent there with the big lead. They didn't spread it out anymore. They were just content to kind of run the ball to Sean Alexander. And they got a little stale offensively. Now they come out, they spread them out on first down. Then they get Millens isolated on that play, trying to open the offense back up here in the 4th quarter.
3 straight 100-yard receiving games. First player in Alabama history to do that. Freddie Millens with 125 yards receiving today. Alexander slithered out to the 49-yard line where Camone Fisher made the tackle.
So the other thing that Ole Miss better be aware of now, they've thrown out of that stack wide receiver to Millens on the quick screen a couple times. We saw him throw the football against Arkansas, and they are set up for him to throw the football out of that set because they've thrown it out there to him a couple times. Ole Miss better be ready for some kind of play like that with Freddie Millens.
Big comeback by Virginia. Once behind against NC State, now ahead. Very disappointing season for North Carolina continues with a loss at home to Houston. Zhao throws incomplete. Missed the target. Bowens had curled open inside the 45-yard line. So the aerial missed its mark, and now it'll be 3rd down and 5. First down into Rebel territory at the 43-yard line. Freddie Millens with his 9th catch.
Good job by Andrew Zhao finding the single coverage and then the good timing. As soon as Millens makes the turn, the ball is in the air. It's low. It's an easy catch. You've got to respect the speed of Freddie Millens and his ability after the catch. You give him that cushion. Good timing, Andrew Zhao to Freddie Millens.
Millens quickly becoming not only one of the top receivers in this conference, but one of the best in the country.
Yeah.
from the 43. First and 10 Alabama. As the clock rolls down to 6 minutes left. Alexander, good cutback into the secondary. One man to beat. He slowed him down long enough for the rest of the defense to come to the rescue at the 19-yard line. Ronnie Hurd retreated to make the stop after a pickup of 24.
You don't know how good this run was, Sean, because this was a strong safety blitz right up into it, and Alexander saw it. Watch the blitz come from here, and watch Alexander just say, I'll cut back inside. There's nothing outside. It was designed to go outside, but he had the vision to see the inside open and turned it into a great play. It looked like Ole Miss had the right defense called with the blitz coming right into that sweep, but just great vision by Sean Alexander.
Perhaps taking steps, and of course, as soon as we start to say it, he's dropped for a loss on the play toward becoming the first Heisman Trophy winner ever at Alabama. Certainly with each passing week of late, he has been improving his chances. John Rahm dropped him for a loss, the junior from Costa Mesa, California, who came to Ole Miss in January from Orange Coast Community College in California, where he played defensive end and linebacker. David Palmer, the best finish ever in the Heisman balloting by an Alabama player, third in 1993. The spread formation. Alexander out to the left and cutting over the middle. He's wide open and gets the pass and gets tackled short of the first down at the 15 by Armiga Spearman. And Alabama will need to convert on third down at about 5.
Play the game right now for Ole Miss and their defense. They've got to think, they've got to hold them to field goal here. If they can force a field goal, then they can still win the game with a touchdown. They give up a touchdown on this drive, it's probably lights out for the Rebels.
4:20 remaining. 2 timeouts left for Ole Miss, 3 for Alabama. Third and a short, 6. Little more than 5, but officially the stats starts to go. Zhao takes off. First down, inside the 5 and down to the 3-yard line.
Great call, Sean. Great call. Charlie Stubbs has done it again now. They spread them out. They have not shown quarterback draw at all. They've got the Ole Miss defense so focused on where all those receivers are. And Andrew Zhao, a called play, a designed play. He waits on the block of Hogan and Will Cuthbert and gets the first down and some. Great call. There's Charlie Stubbs there. Really an excellent call right there on the quarterback draw.
4 times previously in the red zone today, 3 touchdowns and a field goal. Alexander breaking tackles again and picks up a tough yard to the 2. And he now has exactly 200 yards right on the nose. His 3rd career game of 200 yards or more, including the school record performance of 291 at LSU in 1996.
You know, the 99-yard drive by Alabama was impressive, but this drive has been more impressive to me because they had gotten a little complacent offensively, and they needed to put a serious drive together, and they've done that. Andrew Zhao, Freddie Millens, and Sean Alexander.
Zhao stumbled coming away from the center. You wonder if somebody stepped on his foot. That's certainly what it looked like as he went flopping backwards onto the grass near the 7-yard line.
It happens all the time. You just can't get your feet out of there quick enough. It's probably the center or a guard just trying to step back into a play. I think it was the center. Paul Hogan or the right guard, Will Cuthbert. One of those two just got on the right foot of Andrew Zhao.
What a big play. Back to the 6-yard line. 3rd down and goal now. They were on the 2. Tight formation, but he is going to throw out of it for McClintock, and he can't make the catch. Wasn't a great throw by Zhao.
You know, they wanted a timeout, Sean. Mike Dubose was calling for a timeout. They were trying to run some other personnel onto the field. That was not the play that Alabama wanted in that 3rd down situation. Andrew Zhao almost got it, but you could see they're trying to get timeout called. Mike Dubose, Neil Callaway, and Andrew Zhao just a little too tall on this throw for McClintock.
Now an important field goal try for Ryan Flugner, a 24-yarder. He's 2 for 2 today. And it wobbles through. Wasn't an artistic success, but it was between the uprights. And now Ole Miss will have to score a touchdown and kick the extra point to win, down by 6.
Hey, Jen, we're counting on you.
Last weekend in the Army Reserve, I had to refuel 6 Apache helicopters in 30 minutes. That got me ready to do battle on Monday.
Hey, not too shabby.
As little as 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Army Reserve.
We don't build commuter cars. Or get you to work fast pinstriped cars. We don't build cars, period. We build the 205 horsepower, get out of town fast Isuzu Rodeo. Because there's more to life than the daily commute.
I know the truth about tires. And I have proof. Pep Boys has tires from 4 for $99 to the Futura SE's Motor Trend said were impressive. The truth will set me free.
Pep Boys. Cars like us. People love us.
Tonight on CBS, America's Night of Heroes is all new, beginning with Early Edition. Then Samuel and Arsenio must steal $1 billion ransom to save a kidnapped child in an all-new martial law, followed by Chuck Norris in Walker, Texas Ranger. It's all new and it's all tonight on CBS. Touchdown and extra point could win it for Ole Miss. Field goal with this little time remaining doesn't do them much good. Deuce McAllister gets outside, and an excellent return. Shoved out of bounds just shy of the 37-yard line by Sean Toure. Some head slapping over there. The Alabama players especially be wise just to get away. You don't want to do anything foolish and tack 15 more onto the play.
I wasn't a math major, but the numbers are not in your favor when you're on the other team's side.
No.
If I'm Ole Miss and Romero Miller, if I'm looking for a big pass play right now, I'm going to look for 13 in white. I'm going to go for Kelf Bailey. Milo Lewis has played another solid game. Kelf Bailey making his first start, a little groin injury. I'd go after him.
Miller throws, dropped. Incomplete pass intended for Flournoy. They are depleted without Armstrong in the receiving corps. Out with the ankle injury and the bloody nose. Time for the CBS Sports Line stat of the game. We talked about the matchup today. Ole Miss, #2 in the nation in rush defense, coming in against Sean Alexander with 100-yard games every game this season. Alexander won that battle today. For complete college football coverage, go to cbs.sportsline.com. Second and 10. 2 minutes remaining. Miller throws, hit as he threw, and it fell incomplete. Good rush. There was Kendall Moorhead among those applying the pressure, and he grabbed a hold of Miller just as Romero went to throw.
They brought pressure inside, but Moorhead right here working on Todd Wade is the guy who got there first. Just a good speed rush along the outside. It kind of got in the way of that throw by Romero Miller.
3rd and 10, Ole Miss at its own 37. 1:56 left. 2 timeouts left for the Rebels. 50% today for Miller. He came in at 61% for the season. The fake handoff, and he's sacked back at the 30-yard line by Reggie Grimes, the 3rd Alabama sack. And a timeout called by Ole Miss.
Kind of unusual that Ole Miss would go with play action on the 3rd down and long there.
Who are you fooling? Big sack by Grimes, the senior from Nashville, Tennessee. Last ditch effort for Ole Miss after this.
A financial representative is like a good coach.
Lynn Medeiros, AXA Advisors.
First, I gotta have all the financial X's and O's. Second, I gotta motivate people to do their best, to execute the game plan.
AXA Advisors, part of a global company helping 40 million people.
And sometimes, I have to blow the whistle and say, look, do this. It's good for you. It's what your family needs.
AXA Advisors, building futures.
The Southeastern Conference, setting the standard. unprecedented year in athletic and academic achievements. 12 member institutions committed to excellence and the promise of the future. The Southeastern Conference, where champions are made.
All right, we're going to run the trick flip 42 on one. Cut!
Get back out there and play hard.
Thanks, Coach. Now, if we just hold them on D, we'll have a shot.
Walker finds himself back in the Old West.
Who are you?
Texas Ranger. To solve a 150-year-old murder.
Must be from West Texas.
All new Walker's CBS tonight.
It comes down to a must-convert situation for Ole Miss. 4th down, 17 from their own 30, 144 left. David Cutcliffe's team down 6.
I'd still look Peterson against Bailey out the top of the screen left.
Miller running away from serious pressure, can't get the throw off. The ball came loose. And Alabama's going to take over either way. Cornelius Griffin in pursuit showed great speed, ripped the ball out just as Miller got to the sideline. And Alabama should win the game now, barring a disaster on this offensive possession.
Boy, you're right. I mean, what a great play by Cornelius Griffin. Romero Miller could never even load the gun to make the throw. I mean, Griffin just chased him the entire way to the sideline and was right there in his face to make the play. Great hustle play by Cornelius Griffin. Appreciated by the Alabama offense. What a great play by Cornelius Griffin. I mean, he's got to be tired. It's the minute 36 left in the game. He's been rushing the passer, getting knocked around in there at defensive tackle. Showed great agility and quickness getting to the outside.
One timeout left for Ole Miss. Alexander over 200 yards now as he goes to the 24-yard line, tackled by Armigas Spearman. And the Rebels don't use the timeout here. Big play on that last possession for Ole Miss was the 3rd down sack.
Well, Griffin made the play on 4th down, but right here, Reggie Grimes going against Shane Grice. Grice had made a couple big plays in the running game, but in that particular play, on the play action pass, Grice just got beat by Reggie Grimes. Grimes made the play on 3rd down. Cornelius Griffin the big play on 4th down.
Dowell lets the play clock run down, gives it to Alexander. He's to the 22, short of a 1st down. Seneca Taylor made the stop. And still no timeout indicated by Ole Miss. They have one. Tuesday on CBS, a Marine saves a woman's life and becomes a hero. So why did he just go AWOL? Find out on America's #1 action drama, all new Jag, Tuesday on CBS.
Well, Alabama can now turn their sights to Tennessee and the big game next week in Tuscaloosa. I thought they did a nice job of keeping focused in the game today. And that is going to be a huge game for Mike Dubose and the Crimson Tide next week at home.
He'll be riding his first 3-game winning streak as a head coach into that game. That's a 1st down on the last play of the game. Time has expired, and Alabama beats its 3rd straight ranked opponent. 2nd in a row on the road. First 3-game winning streak of any kind in the Dubose era. 30-24 the final. Big win for Bama, and Sean Alexander might have sent himself right to the top of these Heisman Trophy articles filled with speculation. Here's Michelle.
With head coach Mike Dubose, for the first time in your tenure as head coach, 3 in a row. Just how big was this game for you guys?
It was a huge win. It's one of those wins you want to get and get back on the bus and go home.
Ole Miss played an outstanding football game, especially here in the second half and the fourth quarter. And, you know, our kids showed a lot of class, a lot of character, again, finding ways to win. And you can't say enough good things about Sean Alexander, the type of day he had.
Well, we're going to try because he joins us now as well. Sean Alexander, come on in here. Over 200 yards, another 2-touchdown performance. People say you just keep getting better every week. Do you feel like you're improving each game?
That's what I try to do. I know I've been blessed with a lot of things, and it's just a blessing to be able to come out here and play this game, and for us to keep on winning. It's awesome.
Your offensive line says they want to win you this Heisman, that they feel like they were part of it. How has that been?
They're blocking so well. It's unbelievable. You know, Chris just keeps on getting these boys fired up, and Griff and Paul and Dante and Will, they just keep on going out there and playing. And I know if they keep on doing this, it's going to be very hard to beat us.
And I know you get to enjoy this for about 15 minutes, and then you probably will start thinking about Tennessee next week. Your initial thoughts on that game?
It's going to be exciting to be able to play them at home for the first time since like 1930 or something like that. And I know it's going to be a lot of electricity in the air, so it's going to be very exciting.
Good luck. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. God's good.
All right. Back up to you, Sean.
God is good, and so is Sean Alexander, as he demonstrated once again today. Alabama wins by 6.
He is a good player. I mean, and again, he just makes plays when they need him. And Alabama is going to pose a real problem for Tennessee because of how versatile they are on offense. Andrew's out throwing it. Receivers have emerged now with Millens and Carter. And the offensive line is as good as there is in the conference right now.
So we look forward to our next telecast next Saturday from Tuscaloosa when Alabama plays host to Tennessee. Till then, for Michelle Tafoya, Todd Blackledge, and our entire crew, Sean McDonough saying so long from Oxford, Mississippi, where Alabama was victorious over Ole Miss 30-24. We'll rejoin Tim Brando in our New York studios right after this.